Welcome to a brand new wave, drowning out the noise that's tame. Liberty whispers through the brave, breaking free from every chain. Nullify the rules they crave, crypto beats that pave the way. Anarchy with minds that's safe, algorithms new dawn to take. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride. Beyond control we take a stand, casting off the iron brand. Freedom flowing through our hands, revolution's our command. Decentralize the way we plan, all together we expand. Breaking shackles for the clan, in this journey we're unpanned. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride.
Our Father, who art there in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Lord Almighty, Father in heaven, and to your only begotten Son, who you sent down upon this earth to grant us the salvation from the consequences of our misery and our sin. We ask you this day, New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2025, to bless us and to forgive us of all of our iniquities as we lead into the new year of 2026, that we may find peace, justice, love, and your mercy. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Welcome to the New Year's Eve edition of the Weekly Legacy. Season finale time. We will see you again next year on January 7th, 5 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube and X and anywhere else that you like to listen to your podcast. But I'm the only one here because I decided let's give you a rest. I don't see a very, I guess, festive and expanded viewership base today. It's New Year's Eve, just like Christmas before. You got plans? You want to send out the old year for the new? So go out, enjoy yourselves, be with your family, be with your friends, go to Mass. If not tonight, at least tomorrow morning, for it is I believe it's the feast of the Holy Mother of God, to ring in the New Year. But with that, I decided that today I give you 2 hours of a nice special. This of a pre-recorded. It's actually in the library on the Legacy Right. Called it Rounding Out a Legacy. This is where we brought on Sean of Buds in Reality, Mike, who at that time went by the moniker Mike Decentralized over on X, and his claim to fame of bringing you a solutions base in township liberation and community nullification. And Tim, the Freedom variant O'Connor. We recorded this and released it out around, I believe, March of last year, and it was some shenanigans. Let's just put it that way. We laughed, we got serious, we jumped into the philosophical basis of society and the element of the whole of politics of the day then that reflects now. And we did end up leaning a little bit heavy into the Christian variation. You got to see a little bit of our Christianity evolved into this. The early days of me, man, when I before I came back to my church, before I actually came back home, came home to Rome, I was on the roadmap towards coming home to God, to our Father. So have a happy, blessed New Year. Be safe if you are going out. There's a lot of crazies out there. Anything can happen, especially after midnight. But enjoy yourselves. Hug your loved ones close, and ring in this 2025 with the unveiling of hopefully what will be a very positive, love-filled, and merciful, blessed year in 2026. With that, if you like, go get yourself some W at W.GG. It's scrolling there down at the bottom. Use our promo code Legacy Right for $10 off, or $10 off, 10% off of any order, except for certain bundles, certain variations of certain like special items and bundle items, but almost everything on there you can order 10% off. And it's every order. It's not just your first order. It's every order. Go get yourself some W. Have a crash-free energy boost. But just remember, don't use the straw to snort the W. Okay? Don't be a dumbass middle school kid snorting pixie sticks. Okay? It's not cocaine. It's not pixie sticks. All right? I know where a lot of us are kind of retarded, but don't be that guy. But enjoy the W. Go get yourself some. Try it out. Get yourself a nice little energy boost. And check it out, man. 10% off any order. Man, that's a hell of a deal. So use the Legacy Right. Don't forget that we do have an Etsy.com shop at the Legacy Right. We do have some merch. Get yourself a t-shirt, a Legacy Right t-shirt. Represent. Get yourself a coffee mug. Get yourself a shot glass. And if you didn't get one yet, I mean, get one so you can have it for next year's New Year's festivities when you're taking down shots. So Lysander Spooner, Mises, and then me and Andrew in our cartoon form on a t-shirt. So go represent, go to that store, and help us out. Help us keep on expanding this out by promoting us. But that's all I have for you. So enjoy this episode from last March. You can go find it somewhere within the Legacy Right playlist called Rounding Out a Legacy. But for the most part, it's right here and right now. Enjoy this almost 3 hours of a very, very rounded out discussion and shenanigans with me, Andrew, Sean of Buds in Reality, Tim O'Connor, and Mike. Enjoy, everybody. welcome. And this is going to be the shit show night. Yeah, the shit show or a shit show, whatever you want to bring about it. We got, for the first time ever, the Legacy Right comes to you with three guests for you, and we're going to get down to business, right? In fact, I'm not even going to throw in should I throw the plug in, Andrew?
Blow the plug. Blow the plug.
Yeah, let's throw in the plug. All right. Fanghornforesters.com for all your woodworking needs and necessities. Knickknacks, coasters, wood cutting boards, anything that you want your little heart desired for wood. So if you want some wood, go to fanghornforester.com. My cousin can get you some wood. So fanghornforesters.com. That sounded so wrong. And I see Sean down there with it.
It skips a trip to Goodwill, that's for sure.
Get your wood from Zach, y'all.
Yeah, so you want some wood? fanghornforesters.com. So
right. I love it.
But with that, it is Lysander Spinner. The Legacy Right. I am the legacy of Jennifer Ant Kaiser. I am your captain, El Capitan, engaged, Zachary Kaiser. And to my number one or my number two, whatever you want to call him, Andrew, take the floor. He's not a crook, everybody. So,
all right.
But we have, let's introduce these rascals here. We got Mike, Decentralized is his tag on Twitter. If he wants to introduce himself. We got Sean Collins. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's good to be here with you guys, man. This is good times.
It's going to be good times and probably a party, it sounds like. We got Sean Collins. Of course, you all should know him of Buds in Reality.
What up, though?
Yeah.
You catch it on YouTube, Rumble, and anywhere that you like your podcast. And then we got down there on my screen to my right, the man of the hour, Tim O'Connor of the Freedom Solution, or Free Solution, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a radio show called The Free Solution. We do podcasts. It's available on Spotify. I call myself the Freedom Variant on Twitter, X, and I also added it's okay to be anti-war. I want to give people permission to stand against this system that we see every day, that we see as a for-profit, a monetary scam, where we have governments forcing people to sacrifice themselves and throw themselves into a fucking meat grinder all over the world, and it drives me crazy. It's okay to be anti-war, everybody. It's okay.
Amen.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
In fact, we should be anti-war. I mean, really. I mean, what's the point of war, anyways?
I love Ukraine. What are you talking about?
Well, except for Andrew.
You're not a real libertarian, fucker.
Oh, fuck you. I'm out of
He's
here.
not. He's an agorist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, an agorist. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So he loves Ukraine and he loves their money, especially selling the nukes on the black market.
They're the king of the black market, the Ukraine government. It's been a corrupt country for decades. We can't pretend.
Zach's going to have the feds at his house after that comment.
Probably. They've already been here. They've already been here. They've been here a couple times now. They're not. I've had the cops here a couple times lately. So, for other reasons, but hey, we'll make them. Oh, I'm gonna make it like it was the feds. Sounds cooler. So, instead of a little noise violation, we'll just say it's the feds.
Fair enough.
I mean, at the end of the day, cops are feds, whatever.
I mean,
do what we gotta do.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, speaking of that, Andrew, that's pretty much true. I mean, how about that Patriot Act? Didn't it federalize? Didn't it federalize local cops?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, something like that. And it set up fusion centers all over the place.
Wait, are we going to open up the show with this then, or is this how we're going to start? Are we just going to jump right into FISA? Because I'm okay.
We're going to jump right into FISA. That sounds like a great transition. Yeah, let's jump on it. So, and speaking of FISA,
what the hell is going on with Congress now? I thought the Republicans were for limited
Public
government.
authority.
But they're Republicans. Don't you understand?
They're commies, period.
Yeah.
Only
But there's-
86 of them voted no. 86 Republicans out of the whole shit said no.
Yeah, look, there's a reality, guys. If you let me have the floor for a second, there's a reality about the Republican Party and the GOP. The GOP hates constitutionalists. They hate small L
That's
libertarians, and they hate conservatives. They hate them because conservatives see the shit that they participate in, and they're like, "Hey, why are you guys doing this?" And then conservatives come up with this crafty plan about how they're going to save the GOP, and the GOP is so far ahead of them. They're going to be like, you know what you can do? Give us money, send us your best guy, and we'll corrupt that dude too. Like, that's what happens. 3 guys have escaped it. 4 guys have escaped the corruption of the GOP. I don't think we can pretend anymore. Like, people that aren't buying what I'm saying are pretending. They're living in a fantasy world. Sorry.
I'm buying it, dude. I'm
Yeah,
buying
all right. I know you guys will. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. It's awful, man. It's awful. And what's it going to take, guys? Here's the question I want to ask about this. What's it going to take for people to wake up when only 86 Republicans stand against this warrantless search of your private records and your home computers? What's it going to take to wake people up when, if they're not awake now, I think we're screwed, man. But I'd love to hear ideas. Yeah.
I'd like to chime in on this, and I've been talking about this for a while. So I'm a Gen Xer, man. I'm at the very tail end of Gen X. I barely made it. I was almost a millennial, but I made it. And what I do know and how I grew up was you were made fun of if you were a follower. Like, that was just the way it was. If you were a follower, you got the shit from your peers, okay? But now we live in a world where everybody just blindly follows whatever, the media says, or the cool rapper, the rock star, the movie star says, or the dumbass politician, or whoever it is, and they just blindly follow them because it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
People are too worried about being cool and fitting in rather than being like, hey, man, this is wrong. This is why it's wrong, and we need to do X, Y, Z to fix it. Nobody's doing that anymore, except people like us and a few other people out in the world. Like, we're the minority in this shit. But, we get looked at like we get called assholes and retards and cuckards, fucktards, whatever the fuck.
Anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be. But you want to know what? There's a white pill in all this. There's a white pill in all this. And I'm going to tell you what it is. Minority always made the change. It was always the minority who forced the change. Always. Look at history, knock yourself out. That's your white pill.
That's it. I'm going to add some real quick to that because I think it's spot on. Is the center never moves under its own inertia, right? It always gets pulled by somebody on the fringe. The center never moves anything. It is moved by those that are on the outside of the center, whatever that is, for better or for worse, right? The minority is what pulls the center along. So I back that. BNR, I back that 100%, man. You're right on target.
Well, I mean, even who was it? G. Edward Griffin was talking about that on. God, I can't remember whose show he was on, but he was on somebody's podcast, and he was like, "It's always the minority who are the ones who force change and open people's eyes." So, like, let's fucking go, dude. Let's.
Let's. Yes. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I'll add this though. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on the idea that maybe privacy in itself isn't truly a right? Because I mean, it can get taken away so easily as long as you're not enforcing your right to be left alone. So, like, your negative right. Like, I'm of the belief of like natural law. So, like, in natural law, on the natural case of everything, nature doesn't give a shit about you. So God kind of he gives you free will, and you can mold it the way that you want to mold it. Some people are going to be assholes, and some people are going to try to live to let bygones be bygones and just survive and scrape through and live their life. And so, what is your thoughts on privacy being a concept of a concept of not being a negative right. I mean, or a natural right, just for the fact that if you're not willing to defend yourself and preserving yourself, you don't really deserve that. So, what are your thoughts on that?
If I could answer that real quick, because I've been talking about this forever now. A lot of what's going on today, the American people need to hold some blame for putting up with this shit. If you're a believer in the whole Constitution thing, you should be able to stick up for yourself and be like, hey, we're not doing this. But not enough people have done that. We have gotten, comfortable, complicit, and just, we just let them do whatever they do because we're comfortable. And so, if at a certain point, the people have to take some blame on this. They have to. Because guess what, y'all? America didn't become America because, it just happened. People got pissed off over a 2% tax over tea, and people fucking died over that shit. And here we are getting fucking bent over for half our money.
Half. I live in New York, bro. I don't know where half is. Like half, it would be nice if that'd be a raise if I get to keep half of my money. But look, if I may jump in, privacy as a privilege versus privacy as a right. I think that it was not delineated in the Constitution, but I certainly think that my privacy is part of my rights, part of natural law, like that you don't have the right. That's why this is a big deal. And a lot of people, in fact, are offended. Like government collecting information on you to use against you to turn you into a criminal, when all it's going to take is for them to change the law tomorrow to turn us into criminals is a real problem. And when people don't stand on that principle, I'm with you. People deserve some blame for this, for not realizing the import of these issues. Like, they absolutely don't get how important creating something that you think is going to punish your enemies can easily, red team, blue team, shit changes tomorrow. That will blow up in your face. That's the reality. And we got to be nicer to each other, but it's hard to be nice to retards. Okay. It's really, really hard.
Well,
Sorry.
It's not a lot of it's in context, right? Like, if somebody starts a business and they know how to maintain that stability to make the money, after a couple generations, it falls off, right? It's the same thing with privacy and other rights. People, they become accustomed to the narrative that they grew up under, and it's really hard to convince them otherwise. So, like, grandparents, they could do certain things, like, couple decades ago, or about 100 years ago, you could order a full machine gun through the mail, right? To just like a magazine. You can't even carry a gun as a uniformed officer of the Army. You had to have special permission.
Yeah,
it's
That's
all
a
about
bold-faced
crafting a
lie,
narrative.
buddy. I could go get a pistol right now, and nobody gonna do a damn thing. Constitutional carry, bitch.
Check this out, y'all. But hear me out. Check this out. If people don't think privacy is a right, well, okay, hear me out now. This phone, right? This phone in my hand. I'm a painter, obviously. Look at that. But this phone is in my house, which is in my private property. And now they're using it against me, right? Same thing in this commuter. By the way, what's up, NSA? How you doing? I know you're watching. Say hi, everybody. But no, seriously, they are in my house right now. They're in your house right now. They're here. So now that is an invasion of private property. That's the way I look at it. I don't know what else to say about it.
I think that's a good way to get more people on board, right? Like, every angle that we attack this from is probably the right way to attack this. Like, every single thing,
Well,
What's Mike got to say about this?
I know. I was wondering, waiting for Mike to jump in.
No, his wheels are turning right now. I can tell.
I know.
Yeah. Because I'm absorbing everything you guys said so far. I think obviously privacy is a natural extension of private property. I mean, if you own yourself, right? Which libertarians love to say that phrase, right? You own yourself, right? Well, yeah, but if you own yourself, then what your whole being is private property, including what your intellectual content, like whatever you want to kind of call it, your intellectual property, everything is private in the sense that I'm doing my private life. It should not involve any governance whatsoever. It's no one's damn business, right? So this thing that happened today, Speaker Johnson, all this stuff. I mean, I wish I could say I was surprised, but the reality is, nobody cares about our privacy. I mean, we have these dystopian global organizations, telling us, well, if you got nothing to hide, you shouldn't be worried. There's no more privacy anymore. Your privacy's gone. We're taking it away from you. Well, no, that's my private property. But of course, these are the same people saying you'll own nothing and be happy. I guess that includes your privacy, right? You don't own your privacy anymore. So every fiber of my being is opposed to that kind of dystopian thinking. But let's not mince words. That's what we're up against. And it is, and you guys, you've seen me, on my X page, I talk about how all the time, how we're facing the same dystopia everywhere. It's not just an American phenomenon. It really is everywhere. And it blows my mind that we're letting it happen here in the so-called land of the free. But to your point earlier, that's exactly what we've done. We've let it happen. And it's time to just simply unlet it. It's like to reverse that. We just simply have to detach. There's no way we're not voting our way out of this. No. So we just detach ourselves from it. It's like, okay, you guys can go ahead and have your dystopia. We're going to have something else.
I like that. I do like that a lot. We have a group in Southern Michigan that they're pretty much off grid. They bought a bunch of property. They have tiny houses on this private property or on this property. It's a bunch of land. They bought acres and acres and acres. And they actually they farm it, they do all kinds of stuff. And they do everything through trade and barter. There's no money, there's no taxes, there's no this or that. They have to pay their property tax actually.
Right.
Everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a little money involved for that, but like they're not really, there's no source of income because they're working for gold, silver, and Bitcoin.
God bless.
Barter.
Yeah.
Period.
We've got them in upstate New York, Sean. We've got them in upstate New York. We call them the Amish. They like ride around in horses and shit like that. So it's not really the. They have the Amish are pretty impressive, like business model, right? They've found a way to step outside the tax system to keep things in their community. We have other communities like that around here too. We have a Shia or some Muslim, like escaping from the oppression of the Sharia law type guys who kind of formed a commune, but they all kind of own businesses or all parts of the community. Every single one of them has been a decent human being to me whenever I run across them. So I don't know, man. Like there's ways of creating these utopia-istic communities. It's just, I want more people to come to where we are and make our society a little bit better. Like when Mike says dystopia, it's like we're at the point where dystopia doesn't even fit anymore, where when we have a guy like Speaker Johnson who steps up to save the FISA process at the last, he could have stayed out of it. The speaker doesn't even normally vote.
That's right.
He did it to save big government. And what I want to ask you guys what the trade-off is that they're promising. They're saying, hey, yes, we're going to violate your privacy in return for what? What are they promising that they never actually deliver?
Nothing. They're not promising anything. That's
safety.
That's the thing. They're
Your
not
safety.
I heard safety. The promise is safety, but Sean is right. They don't deliver it. They promise it.
Well, those Muslims you were talking about, I think those are the Brotherhood, right? The Brotherhood variant.
I don't know. That sounds terrifying to me, man. I'm not going to call them that, but like, no, I don't know. The Muslim? No, it's not the Muslim Brotherhood. Hold up. They escaped.
It's Hamas.
Hey, they still escaped.
A group of people
Escaping and escaping. It doesn't matter.
Get me.
Yeah, they escaped that shit. They're good dudes, man. Good families, good kids. Like they've been around for a generation now.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm also Gen X, but I'm more at the very first Gen Xer. I'm very close to the earliest month that the label Gen X was available.
So you're almost a boomer.
Yeah, I'm almost a boomer, bro. Yeah. Almost a boomer.
I'm halfway in between. I'm squarely in the middle, I think, as far as that goes, Gen X. But yeah, definitely
Okay.
Gen X was always had an anti-authoritarian vibe, and even the later boomers, like the ones that are close to our age, were also like you said, we had a culture of mocking followers and making fun of the teacher's pet, and it might have been better, man. You know what I mean? Like,
we were the last of the feral ones, honestly. We were the last of the feral, generations, like the kids that went out and got lost for hours and hours. Like, our parents used to literally tell us to leave the house and do not come home until those street lights were on. You weren't allowed to come home, but if you weren't home when the street lights came on, you got your ass beat.
Right.
My mom wasn't gonna do that. She wasn't gonna beat our ass, but we definitely had ours if we gotten into trouble. Like, she wasn't. First off, my dad wouldn't allowed her to punish. He'll take the belt. He'll definitely take the belt, because you don't piss off my dad. But my mom, if she could, she probably would have whooped both me and my brothers' behinds. But she was the same way though. She's like, street lights come on, your ass better be at home. If not, doors locked, you're sleeping out on the porch.
Oh, damn.
No, I don't think she would probably do that. But you know what? I never wanted to find out, so I was home. I was home when the street lights came. So I don't think she would, but you know what? Maybe she would have, just to teach you a lesson. You'd be home. Man, it's not like anything would happen in my neighborhood, but I mean, still.
But the question is like, where do you go from here? You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you go from here now? They've obviously they just passed FISA, Patriot Act 7.0. We're doing it all over again. We're just going to keep doing it over and over again in the name of safety. But I guarantee you this, if any one of us, and it could really happen, like, this is a very serious matter for any one of us on this pod right now, you say the wrong things about, whoever, or you say something naughty online, you get a knock at the door from the feds, and all of a sudden, here we go. Like, dude, I literally have a friend right now who is in the court process for terrorist threats. He got into it with some Palestinians on Facebook. Next thing you know, he had the feds at his house. They took him away. They took his guns. He's in all kinds of shit right now. He's on house arrest. He's on a tether, and what he said was wrong. It was definitely wrong. But then you have people here in Michigan, 10, 15 minutes from my house, screaming death to America in the streets, and what he said was not really anything different or any worse or less than what they said. But he's on house arrest in a tether, and he lost his guns, and they're gonna fuck his whole life up over this. And these people could just stay this in the streets and get away with it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I got a good friend of mine, libertarians in Scotland, and on April 1st, they got a good kind of sneak preview of what it's like to be under the Patriot Act, but it's on steroids, and we're headed that same direction. In Scotland, if you get your feelings hurt online, you can file a complaint with the police. I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. It's crazy, but we're headed that direction. We're right behind it. We talk about, oh my God, I can't believe it's happening in Scotland. Hell, it's happening here. Like, that's the next step. They're desperate to have here in the United States. It's the same evil everywhere, and it blows my mind, because it's a surveillance state, for one, that we've just reinforced, and it's also a censorship state. And those two things combined, I mean, I don't use the word dystopia lightly. Those are that's the fixings of a dystopian society, and it's everywhere. It's not just here. That's the part that I still just blows my mind. It's happening everywhere. So I tend to think the way out of this is because, again, we're not really going to be able to vote ourselves out of it, obviously, because the game's rigged. But we can sort of create, and we've talked about this before. We can create kind of a parallel way, like a different way of doing things. And we can essentially nullify their governance if we do things right. You know, we can nullify this corrupt governance, and it starts at the most local and basic levels. I'm beginning to convince that while they're aiming high, you know, they're going national and multinational, kind of dystopian approach. Everybody fall in line with the World Health Organization. Everybody fall in line with, you know, all these, you know, edicts from these, you know, global corporations, global entities. Everybody just needs to comply. We just can do the kind of the reverse and start small, but resist our way out of it. The Amish are a great example. You know, there's plenty of other examples, and I think the tools are going to evolve around that. I'm kind of optimistic that as long as we kind of focus on the local level, not to say that national messaging isn't important, and what we're doing, you know, right now isn't important, but of course it is, but as a complement to it. But if we can just start really beginning to localize, you know, and concentrate our efforts locally, and do like what we did in Huntington Beach, California, where, you know, we won over a city council effectively, and it nullifies the effect of the large governing bodies if we do it right. I think that's an idea that I think can really catch on. At least that's what I'm pulling for.
But do you think like the three of us could make that work in our communist states?
Well, yeah, isn't that great? Well, yes, Huntington Beach is doing it. The cool thing about it, that's why I'm glad. It's really cool. I didn't piece it together until we started the program, but we have arguably the three worst governors.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
represent state with that are all in competition for the worst governor in America, right? And I think, you know, mine's probably the worst, but you guys might think you're
the worst.
Yeah. So, but the point is his authority being directly challenged by the city council of Huntington Beach, California. I mean, it's like they're basically saying, "Screw you, Newsom. We're not going to do what you say." They're in lawsuits with Sacramento right now, and they're also there's plenty of there's hope in this state that if, I don't think we'll have a national divorce, but I'll be darned if we can't break up our ridiculous dystopian states of California, New York, and Michigan. I think we can break up our states sooner than we can break up the country, just by virtue of this tactic. And there's other, like, I'm not a huge law enforcement person, obviously, but, you know, there are some sheriff's departments in California, like Orange County, where I live, like Riverside County nearby, and LA County, for God's sake, that have told Newsom to screw off. They just refuse to enforce his lockdown orders. So there's hope, right? I mean, there are ways, I think, to break down the governance and nullify the governance of larger bodies using smaller like cities and what I call town. I'm kind of calling it township liberation, right? Where, you know, we can start at the township level, the city level, and nullify larger governing bodies. It's working in Huntington Beach. I had to, you know, I saw a lot of this happen with, you know, libertarians kind of having to really partner with a lot of MAGA Republicans in order to make this happen. But the net effect is the same. We're able to say no to the larger governing bodies. And I mean, Kathy Hochul, God knows she deserves it. You know, that horrific monster that you have in Michigan, she deserves the same thing too, the same treatment. I don't see any reason why it can't happen. Like we just simply say no. We nullify at the local level the larger governing bodies.
You just said something that kind of hit the nail on the head. And this is what a lot of libertarian purists will get fucking pissed off about.
Yeah.
But it's really stupid. And same thing, and anarchists will even get more mad. But like, building coalitions is important in this political climate. It really is. So, you know, we're in a situation right now where one of the local GOP chairs has gotten involved with some libertarian stuff, and they actually want to run some of our candidates under GOP. And we let them know, hey, we aren't you, you know, like, you're not going to force your principles on us or whatever, you know.
Or lack of.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. But like, we are different than you are, and we're not going to play your game. But if you want to build coalitions just to try to get, you know, the nullification process going and get some of this bullshit out of our lives, I think that's important that we do that. Like, sometimes you have to build coalitions with people. You have to, or you're not going to get ahead. Like the Libertarian Party right now as a whole, you know, and this is a very unpopular opinion, but like the Libertarian Party as a whole is a joke right now. Honestly, it's a joke.
Yeah.
There's no sugarcoating it. Like, I don't know what to tell
Always
you.
has been.
Yeah.
I've been 1991, my friends, and I even voted for Ron Paul in 1988 as a teenager. You know,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so that's how far back I go. My whole adult life has been Libertarian Party. But the reality is, it's always been stupid. You know, it really has. And I say that as somebody who will never go anywhere else, right? I mean, I won't.
Yeah.
But the point is that I'd rather be with an ass backwards, ridiculous political party that doesn't have a chance of winning than play with this mutual controlled opposition major parties, right? Like, I'd much rather be with Misfit Island or out here than go along with the mutual controlled opposition. It's just political theater. I mean, yeah, sure, there's a few GOP exceptions, precious few on the national level, right? I can count them on one hand. But
Yeah, you can.
Right. But the rank and file GOP, more than it used to be. Like, okay, so going back to the 90s, when I was most active in the Libertarian Party, it was very easy to hate on both Democrats and Republicans equally, because they're both equally terrible. I mean, warmongering was a Republican thing, and being anti-war was a Democrat thing, but they were total freaking socialists even back then. Like, they're just absolutely could not they can understand economics to save their life. So I could bag on both of them equally, and I could align with them when we were on the same page, and I could oppose them. Like, anti-tax rally, cool, hang out with Republicans. Anti-war rally, cool, hang out with Democrats. It was simpler back then, right? But something happened, right? In about 2010, something happened, and the left started embracing all this dystopian crap. Like, they became just as much the warmongers as George W. Bush was. Something happened during the Obama years that made the left way more, in my opinion, way more destructive than they ever had been before. It's the point where I have to cozy up now to the MAGA people, because they're at least they at least got the Ron Paul message of no foreign wars. Like that they actually understood that was what America first would really mean. So that little paradigm shift changed my attitude. I'm still not in their camp necessarily, but it's a lot easier for me to build a coalition with an anti-war right winger than I could ever before. Like, there was no room for that before. Now I think there honestly is, and that's what's happened in Huntington Beach. It's like you got a patriot type, you got a libertarian, and you got two MAGA Republicans on the city council kicking ass, right? Basically using that surf city to resist Governor Newsom. And it's beautiful, and it's not foolproof. And they spend a little bit too much time on stuff that I don't think is, like, I really don't care about the rainbow flag one way or the other. I mean, dude, whatever. Okay, fine, we're gonna ban the rainbow flag, right? I mean,
it's a flag.
But you can still wave it on your private property. Just, you can't wave it on government property in Huntington Beach. Okay, and that caused, oh my God, it's like how intolerant. Like, that's a battle I didn't think was worth fighting, but they had to fight it anyway, because that's what's important to the MAGAs, right? So, all right, so we fight that. But it still, the net effect is we have a city council majority that seems like it's not going to go anywhere. They keep having victory. So I'm assuming that that's actually a solid block. You have a majority that is going to consistently fight against and resist the larger governance, right? The governance of larger bodies. And that's a model that can be followed. Temecula, California is pretty similar too. So that's a good model to follow. And yeah, it's not popular with libertarians, right? A lot of, you're not, how dare you? You're hanging out with these guys that are terrible, and they like Donald Trump and all that. I'm like, well, I don't like Donald. It doesn't matter. We don't have to be on the same page on the larger, like, when it comes to national politics, right? But when it comes to local, dude, let's fight together. We have a common enemy. I can swallow. I can bite my tongue even when when you start talking about the drug war and this and that. I mean, we're going to disagree. You're going to know that we disagree, but we can still fight together on most stuff. And it's huge.
Well, you can fight together on stuff that you can fight together on, right? Does the drug war get decided by Huntington Beach, California,
No,
right?
exactly.
So I've been there. We had some, like, reasonable amounts of success where we were building coalitions, and then either I failed or it failed, and I decided that I couldn't keep going with all the energy I was expending. So what I do, right, is I do the radio show. I make a commitment to doing that. I want to do more having conversations like with guys like all of us right here, where I can maybe take some of your energy, or at least feel encouraged at the end of the day that there is a possibility for change. I don't know if you guys caught my show with Thomas Daniel Queter. He's a wheelchair bound,
he's awesome,
disability advocate who is meeting with some real success finally. And it took, I think he went through a period like what I've been going through, right? Where you have to stay dedicated, but also it gets really hard. You're stuck and things aren't working and you're not seeing progress. And all of a sudden he just kind of kept saying, hey, you know, what would be better is if we did some better wheelchair designs, because my wheelchair is awesome. And every other wheelchair I see is a threat to human life. You know what I mean? And he kept saying it, and he kept doing it, and he kept finding answers to his wheelchair problem that now can persuade people that the government itself stands in the way of adequate wheelchair, presentation of. They're going to a lease model, like Medicare and Medicaid going to a lease model of wheelchairs, so that you don't even own your own freaking wheelchair anymore. They don't give it to you. They rent it to you. They pay for it, right? But like, it's ridiculous. And he does a great job of really delineating how the check box kind of system that the government offers almost cost him his life several times because of the equipment that they provided for him. And so I see hope in that when I look at the LP and the LPNY, and there's still great people in the LPNY, but there's this constant fucking turf war, this kind of pissing match, this kind of like, we got rules meetings, and I'm like, guys, I used to manage fucking restaurants. I know how to run a successful restaurant. I know how to bartend. I know how to bring people into shit and have a good time. You guys are fucking crazy, right? Like, you're
We
not.
share a common thread, homeboy.
Yeah, I know. I also went from there to starting a construction business, and now I've gone all the way back to where I manage big, huge commercial construction projects because the pay is better, and I don't have anybody fucking calling me at night about a leaky goddamn fucking toilet, right? Like, so I painted houses, I ran restaurants, I bartended, I did a ton of shit. I've been a wild man, busy dude. When I was going to college, I worked full time. Now I wanted to save the world with libertarian philosophy.
Yes.
But it's cyclical, man. Like, people don't listen to us. The two-party system takes the emotional infancy of people and stokes it to a flame. I can tell you what happened with Obama and why all of a sudden the left got pro-war and pro-government power, because Obama had code words for threatening people that, how do I explain it, don't fit the demographic, and like the left all of a sudden felt empowered. Like, now the government is going to be pointing guns at those stupid conservatives that hate us, right? That's how he did it. I don't even think he did it on purpose. Like, he wasn't that big of a shitbag. He said some dumb stuff. I don't think that he manipulated them like that on purpose, but they got very excited by that. They got very excited by having a guy that shared, like, their oppression, which is, I don't know, that's probably not the right word, shared their version of dystopia, all of a sudden in power. Allegiances with power are intoxicating, right?
Yep.
That's what happened.
My brother, you and me share a common thread. I was a 20-year service industry rat. I worked from the back of the house to the front of the house to management,
Same.
a little bit bartending, everything. I know a restaurant business like the back of my hand. I could do with my eyes closed. And then I went out to start a painting company because I got into the trades. Okay.
Yeah, it's way better. I had way more fun.
Me and you
doing
have
that.
a lot in common. Wow, this is me and you.
That's
Do
cool.
we become best friends?
Well,
you know?
did we just? Yeah, why not? What the hell?
But seriously though, like, and let me walk something back real quick. When I say the Libertarian Party is a joke, I mean that in the nicest way possible.
I actually understood it that way. I got you.
Well, because here's the thing, you have the Mises Caucus versus the Classical Liberal Caucus.
Yeah.
And I'm in Michigan where the war is at right now. There's lawsuits going on between the two. It's
Of course.
Okay.
Anything to prevent success and collaboration, bro. Like, I swear to God.
The joke is is that they can't even get 100 people to agree in one room. How in the hell are you going to get the masses to buy into your political world when you can't even get 100 people to agree in the room? That's the joke. You know, and I don't want to say like, dude, I love my libertarians. I have so many friends, you know, from doing my show and stuff. And we've had great conversations, and they're running for office and they're doing great things, you know. And one of them being Michael White. Please help out Michael White. That's my dude. You know, MW for Liberty. If you can help him out, do it. That man is a wonderful.
He actually has a shot, though. He has a chance.
He does have
to
a
do
shot.
it. He really does, like a legitimate,
Please help that man
real
out.
chance.
Like, I love that guy. That's a homeboy of mine. We talk, you know, on a regular basis. But like, I don't want to say libertarians are a joke, but the way they're acting right now, how can you portray yourselves in this manner and expect the masses to buy into what you're doing? It's impossible. And that's the joke.
Yeah, and well, that's where the rift is with the libertarians. Is I mean, this goes all the way back to 71, like when the party was started. Like you had a rift between Rothbard and Samuel Konkin. Actually, that's where the agorist theory comes to play, because Konkin actually divorced himself from Rothbard because he kind of foresaw this. He realized, like, if you jump into politics, it's just going to end in the same puddle. Like, you're going to wind up being semi-Republicans or semi-Democrats. You're going to get or nothing's going to come out of anything. So, I mean, so he kind of he progressed through his own idea and teaching a different philosophy that he portrayed as left libertarianism. It's really just to the left of what most people would call ANCAPs, I guess. But and went from there. You're anti-politic. You basically you peddle economic ventures in black and gray markets. So you just stay away from the overt in order to subvert the overt, in hopes that maybe one day we can at least wither the state away to where it has to compete. I mean, but it kind of starts there with the libertarians. Like, this isn't new with how we have rifts. I mean, and Konkin kind of saw right through it, like, as Rothbard and everybody was kind of gathering around and say, hey, we need to fight the man. So, and then look where we're at now. I mean,
Queter kind of and I had a little side conversation, and let me frame it to you guys this way: in that in the Libertarian Party, there is going to be an ongoing cyclical struggle between left libertarians and right libertarians. And when the left libertarians fail, the right libertarians are going to get motivated. And then the left libertarians are sitting there waiting in the freaking wings to eat the right libertarians and prove that they failed as well. And now it's time to give us back the reins. And so it's a cyclical addressing of failure. And that in and of itself.
Yeah, meanwhile, nobody's winning.
Yeah, that in and of itself is the failure, right? Like, so you left-leaning assholes, get your shit together and get back over here. Sorry, because I came here from the right, and I mean it as a joke and with love. But when some of the stuff they come up with, I can't handle, right? Like, I can't handle it. So
it depends on the lens that you're looking through. Okay, right? So, like, with the current situation, we're all going through operating on the dollar, right? Bitcoin is doing a front running operation where it's consolidating financial strength, and everybody's focused on Bitcoin because it's the big player. But you have altcoins, like, I don't want to say altcoins. I'm sorry. We have altcoins, and then you have forks like Bitcoin Cash. And they're doing the dirty work behind the scenes to get to overpower Bitcoin down the road. It's a roadmap.
Well, I mean, you know, when it comes to, I'm not a huge crypto guy. I'm a precious metals guy. I'm a gold, silver guy to the death. Okay. Do I believe in Bitcoin? Yes. Would I put all my chips in? Fuck no. Because it's digital at the end of the day. Sorry, I got to scratch my head a little bit. I'm bald and I got itchy. But
I know how that feels.
when you have organizations like the WEF saying, hey, there's going to be major cyber attacks coming this year, and they're going to go after the banks and they're going to shut down your internet and shit. What the fuck are you going to do with your crypto and your Bitcoin? Nothing. You're doing nothing with that. But you got to do something with your gold and silver.
Well, that's called gaslighting. That's just them trying to manipulate the market.
Well, what are you going to do with it? If there's no internet, you can't get your coins, dude. You
Well,
can't.
I mean, that's why you have eggs in more than one basket, right?
Well, yeah,
That's
that's why you have like,
silver.
but here's the catch, man. Like right now, gold's up at $2,200 an ounce. It's projected to be $3,500 an ounce by 2025. Silver just went to $30 an ounce. It's projected to be up $150 an ounce at 2025. What are you gonna do? Get your fucking precious metals, man. That's where it's even Ron Paul's saying, yo, you get your precious metals. He's telling people at retirement age, yo, get your precious metals. This fiat shit's not working no more.
No.
Like I can't get behind something that's fully digital because they can shut down the internet and all that shit and the blockchains at any moment they want. Any moment.
What about gold-plated platinum?
Ooh, baby, that's sexy. Give me some.
Well, we're gonna have to go to we're gonna have to get a Deep Space Nine for that one.
I know that reference. I don't know that reference.
That sounded sexy, man. That
It
sounded
was ringing a bell, and I couldn't quite get where it came
we at
from.
Quark
Now I
Bar.
got
I
it.
am drinking.
gold plated platinum. Let's go, baby.
Gold,
We need to throw that at some strippers.
Platinum.
Platinum.
Let's
And
go.
the Ferengi that was their prize, right?
Okay.
Yeah, all right. I got you. Took a minute. Guys, what do you guys think of Thomas Massey? Like controlled opposition, a psyop? Like, what is this guy? Like, I think he's the most legitimate representative to bring it back around to the FISA stuff, right?
Right.
Even if we just do that for a minute. He's the only guy that's been kind of, I would say, soothsaying or truth-telling, where he's out there saying, look, this is bad. We're going to have a big vote on it. It's way closer than it should be. And, like, so what do you guys think of him? Like, is he's the one guy that they give us so that we have, like, a little bit of hope in the system? Is he a psyop?
One guy. He is the one guy. One. That's it. Not Rand Paul. Not anybody else.
Well, I think
there's no hope in the system. Yeah, there's no hope in the system. He's like John the Baptist, voice crying in the wilderness. He's not hope in the system, right? But he is legitimate, but the system is not, and he's the one thing that kind of reminds us how illegitimate the system is, because he's a legitimate guy in an illegitimate system.
That's pretty fair.
Is he though?
I mean, a lot of libertarians jump on the Rand Paul train, but he's a PETA fag. So, like, I don't know what to tell people. He thinks animals are more important than people, apparently.
He's got the libertarian purity ring, that's for sure.
Yeah, but when it comes to Massey, it's hard to get anything on him, because like he's done some good things while he's been in the House, and he's voted so many bills he's voted no that should be no. And he's tried his best to put into play like things that need to be seen, right? Need to be voted on if he gets shut down. But I still have one issue with him, and that's he's still voting to keep those budgets going though. And that's the only issue. And that's where I would have to say, like, he might be controlled opposition. I don't think he's a psyop, but he might be one of those guys that says, hey, you can do your thing. Just know that nothing's really going to come of it. Because, what is one guy going to do?
You're not wrong.
Yeah, no. Right, like what you're saying, he's probably not a psyop, but also what impact does he have? Now, what I do like to see is when he draws in, Matt Gaetz occasionally gives me hope. Mike Lee occasionally gives me hope. Marjorie Taylor Greene is crazy, right? Her outward personality is nutty, but she wanders down the anti-authoritarian wormhole. But still, man.
What about Base Fetterman? Where did Base Fetterman come from?
Dude,
Where the
I
Michael
mean,
Malice.
after
Michael,
after we lost George Santos, I had to find a new hero, and it was in fact Base Fetterman. Like, this guy is okay.
Like, who the fuck
Like,
is this guy?
I don't know. I like
He
the way
had-
he dresses. I like the way he talks. Fuck, he makes fun of himself. It's awesome, right?
All of a sudden,
It's-
it's like the guy had a stroke and it was like, bang, something happened in his head, and he's all of a sudden fucking Base Fetterman. He's talking to
The stroke fixed him.
shit, and I'm like, where the hell did this guy come from? Where has he been? Is this even real? Like, what?
I'm with you, bro. I don't know, but he's enjoyable, right? And he certainly
Oh.
does things like calling out Bob Menendez and be like, "Hey, bro, you're a scumbag. Step down." You know what I mean? Like, you are literally a criminal. Stop it. You know, like, go away. We don't need you. I love that stuff. I love political theater, guys. I mean, I guess that's why I do the radio show. And
That's
shit
all
like
we
that.
have. It's all theater.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's interesting. He's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We're there. We're here. Massey's fun. Look at what Mike Johnson did, though. Like, to distract from his shitty FISA vote, comes out and attacks Joe Biden for spending money. Like, what the?
Mike Johnson is getting
Yeah.
my first turd picture. That's
Nice.
going to his email. When I tweeted today that since they're going to watch everything that we're going to be doing, we all need to take pictures of our morning shit just for them.
Yeah.
My first
I mean,
picture is
it's fair.
going to
That's
fucking
right.
Mike Johnson.
Yeah.
100%.
My, I don't know if you guys have any teenagers. I have a 16-year-old, and guess what they take pictures of? No joke. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
yeah. I have an 18-year-old.
Like,
I
when
know.
did this become a
Fucking
thing?
games they play.
I just don't get it. It's like, this is so not Gen X. Whatever you guys are doing is it's just not right. But they do that, and now it makes sense because now we can do it for the NSA or whoever's watching.
Yeah.
We're gonna join them. We'll see the
now it
wisdom
makes
in what
perfect
they
sense
came
now.
up with.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
now
this
we
is
now
a
we
way
know
to
why they
bring
do
in
it.
Gen Z with us. This is a way to like pull in Gen Z. Like, let's all just take pictures of our shits and send it to the government. You know?
They do
Yeah.
that though. Like, what the hell? Yeah, now there's a reason, so I'm okay with it.
Sure. Got to be a purpose. I mean,
Very.
the social media stuff is they've grown up with it, right? That is inculcated into their personalities. It's inculcated into their interactions. We're like novices. We're noobs, especially us Gen Xers. We're making the best of something that we don't truly understand. In my opinion, like, that's what I feel. I feel like I get it. I like being able to talk to people, like, but over a piece of technology in my office, I love that. But I don't think it's anywhere near as part of my personality as it is for them, you know? So I don't know. What do we do? Like, how do we wake them up? How do we reach them? They all have secret spy apps where they only talk to each other. They don't want us involved in that. They've figured out the privacy thing, man. They just don't care about the government knowing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
hey, all you got to tell your kids and all the young people would be like, hey, all your dick pics and all your nudes and your titty pics and all that stuff, the NSA and the FBI have them. They're looking at them. They're probably using them inappropriately. And you know what I'm saying? Like, like, I don't know what
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
True.
I got you.
like,
I got you.
Well, I'm going back to my Gopher server. I'll see you later.
Go for the server. I mean, it might be time for that.
Yeah.
All right,
Back-
so
yeah.
you just dropped something out there that us three Gen Xers have no idea. What is a Gopher server? What is
Gopher
that?
server
know.
was like
Uh,
a Gopher server was basically the type of server they used for the internet, but back in the 80s.
Mm.
Or
Dial up AOL. I had that.
Before
Wow.
dial up. It's just a different,
But
it's a
they're
different,
pre-dial-up,
different
right?
medium.
Pre-dial.
Yeah, it's pre-dial up. This is when modems were just like bulletin boards and stuff like that. They would
They
use
made-
servers called Gopher servers.
EBS.
All right.
Yeah.
was-
Okay.
Yeah.
Bulletin
I didn't even
Well,
know about the internet till AOL came along. We had the dial up
Yeah.
stuff. What is this thing?
I still have AOL. What are you talking about?
It's still-
I'm running AOL right now.
There's
Oh,
actually quite a few
Jesus.
people still subscribe to AOL dial-up.
Yeah.
You look it up.
They
I had
really
a
are.
Yahoo forever until I started my business, and my wife is 7 years younger than me. I robbed the cradle a little bit.
Attaboy.
There you
Dude,
go.
no woman my age is gonna put up with my shit. I'm a 44-year-old child. Trust me. Like,
I hear you. So we got more shit in common than we even know, man.
absolutely, dude. Absolutely. But like, let's put something out there in the world. Let's talk about something real quick. Who do you like for Libertarian presidential nominee?
Good question.
I want to know. I want to know where you're at. We could even do ranked choice.
You want me to answer that?
Anyone. I want everybody to answer. That'd be great. I want to know where.
How about Andrew? You can go first, though, buddy.
I'm voting for Wendell Bilkey.
Oh.
Who?
Yeah,
Wendell Bilkey
who?
was Republican that fought FDR for the presidency.
Oh, God. Harambe be praised. Harambe will be raised from the dead.
I had nothing to do with my life. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, so look, I'm gonna put it to you like this: that no libertarian candidate, except for Lars Mapstead, has a bankroll big enough to make an impact. So while would Lars be my favorite guy? I don't know. I talk to him. I like him absolutely, but free speech ain't free, bro. Like, that's a reality. And if we want to have an impact, we have to pick the dude with the most money. So arguably that leaves us, if RFK actually pursues the Libertarian Party nomination, he's got millions and millions of dollars. Do I like that idea? No, we agree. Like, look, independents have no principles. Okay. They have they're the same establishment crew. They're looking for a government that their power can be transferred to, that they feel comfortable affiliating with, right? That person is going to punish their enemies, right? So RFK has the most money. Lars has a lot of money. Those Rechtenwald is philosophically pretty good, right? Like, he's kind of philosophically perfect. Chase Oliver is like limitless energy going everywhere. Josh Smith has a vibe that's pretty awesome. It's like, but who has the most money? I'm sorry, like, pragmatically speaking, who has the most money?
I think it comes down to this. And if you had a choice, I think you hit it right there, Tim. It's going with who has the right amount of money, and Lars has the bankroll. But then I think you also want to look who could potentially have the further reach for our friends on the left, right? And who could pull more of a pull, and I think Chase might be the guy that has that too. I think he can gather the left side of the field, because I think he's more intertwined with communicating with everybody for the most part.
I agree with that.
So
absolutely. You're reading them right. That's why, with all due respect, like, it's like the language there from the left is not a language that works for me. But it does in fact have value, right? Just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it doesn't have value,
And then and then another one I would have to throw out there is like Mike Termat too. Like, that would be another good one. Honestly, to pull the right, like Chase grabs you the left, and I think Mike kind of pulls in that fiscally conservative right, like those true conservatives that you would never think vote for libertarian. Maybe he could kind of navigate them into the circle. So
we have hope. It's just the system, the two-party system, has captured everybody's emotional, like, zeitgeist. Like, they're in their brains playing with their concept of fear and their concept of safety and the concept of being able to punish their enemies, and they all trade on racial animus, and it's like, it's a pile of shit, but it works. It fucking works, and that's the problem. It really does. Right? How do
Right.
we wake people up to that? Like that you're a manipulated clown, you're a manipulated joker.
Mhm.
Like they gave us Trump versus Biden 2.0. That's what's going to happen. And that's amazing that people, that alone doesn't wake people right up out of their emotional slumber. Like, how do you not snap awake and be like, look at this mess? I don't know.
Mhm.
Keep trying to find the magic solution, the magic bullet.
Right.
But
Your turn. I want to hear your take.
Yeah, so this is where I'm at with the whole thing with the mutual controlled opposition of the two major parties. It's what's really gotten worse, I think, is how now politics has become the bread and circuses, right? It's like like bread and circuses used to be what distracted you from the atrocity and the horrible situations that are actually happening and around you. Well, it used to be something other than politics, but now politics is the bread and circuses, right? And another thing that really just like makes me infuriated is how civil discourse has been completely eliminated from like it's like nuance has become completely removed from public discourse. Like you're not allowed to have a nuanced position. It's either you like if you question the narrative, the federal government narrative, you must be a Putin sympathizer. I mean, it's the most asinine thing. And so I look at this and I go, okay, so who's the best messenger against that? And right now, you guys are gonna laugh. Right now, I think it's Joshua Smith. Honestly, I think Joshua can slaughter that perception. But
I absolutely respect that idea. I really do.
But do I think he's flawed? Yeah, I do. But the point is, I think he can smash that. Now I got to hand it to Chase Oliver too, because like it or not, and I don't agree with him because I think he's a little he's somewhat at least pro UN or pro not UN but pro NATO or something. Like there's something that's kind of Josh Eagle-ish about him. But the reality is that he does speak a language that I think is probably a little less inflammatory, and I got to give him some credit for that. There's a place for that. I'm not convinced that's not an important factor. But if I was to pick out one guy that would just absolutely smash the whole idea of of the mutual controlled opposition political theater that we have right now, I think that's Joshua Smith. Now he doesn't have the bankroll. I think you made an incredibly important point. Lars he can finance a pretty effective campaign regardless. I'm reminded of and I despise them, and I think this is one of the worst parts of among a handful of really bad moments in Libertarian Party history was the Koch brothers in 1980. Kind of being a part of that, but they had bankroll, right? I mean, they had a huge bankroll, and that kind of put us on the map in a race that, if you remember 1980, and I was only 10 years old at the time, but I remember there were like 4 candidates for president that people were talking about. We're talking about the Libertarian Party candidate. They're talking about John Anderson, who nobody even knows or remembers, and Carter, right? And the only reason why the Libertarian Party was even on the map in 1980 was because the Koch brothers had their, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing the name right, but those guys had tons and tons and tons of money, and they were considered like real players. Now, fast forward to Ross Perot in 1992, and it's like it's the same thing. Money plays, and those that level of resource plays out well. And so, I kind of got, even though I think Joshua Smith may be like the best overall messenger as far as smashing the mutual controlled opposition notion of the two-party system. I think Lars has got the resources. I'm going to concede, because I hadn't really had that thought about it until you guys brought it up, but that's actually maybe even a little bit more important right now.
I like how you said, Josh Smith, though, because he would tear it apart. He kind of does tear it apart with his
and
little
I love
campaign.
that about him. And I don't even agree with everything he says, or how he says it, but he's like, he'll just destroy that shit, and I love that,
Yeah, I love his little campaign commercial that he's thrown
really
up
good.
or that he's posted. That basically sums it up. Like,
what a way to put Trumpers in their place a little bit, right? Like this is your guy. it's like basically he's basically saying I'm more right wing than your guy, and it's like, God, that's true, and I think that there's a good message in that. But he's also basically calling out the fact that the whole thing is a sham, and that's an important wake up call that somebody's got to deliver that message, and I think he's the best one to deliver that particular message, and that's my opinion, is probably the most important message. But he may not be the best messenger. I get that too, and more importantly, he doesn't have the resources of a Lars, and I think that's, you guys have convinced me that's probably more important right now.
If you hear any thrashing around, I'm sorry. My wife just got home and my 2 pit bulls are going insane. So if you hear that, and I have oak floors above me. And it's like crash, bang, boom, everything. I'm like,
oh yeah.
So if you hear that, that's my dogs. My wife is home. Everybody's happy. Yay.
Everybody's happy. Yeah. No, I got a similar situation right now. I'm actually trying to cook dinner while talking on this podcast for everybody. So I'm throwing
That's awesome.
I'm throwing it in the oven for my family. So we're all good.
Fantastic. I'm with you guys on Chase Oliver. Chase Oliver is hands down the best speaker out of any of them by far. It's not even close.
Okay.
When it comes to putting messaging out there and just talking to people and getting it out there, Chase, 100% yes. Okay. He loses me at all the woke stuff.
Right.
He finds a way to incorporate it into libertarian philosophy, and I'm not sure that that's where we want it. I don't. Maybe we do. I don't know. I'm not woke. I'm not aware of structural racism. I'm not aware of a.
What else do you call the war?
Society?
The drug war is institutionalized racism. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
But and as far as Joshua Smith goes, he was one of my front runners. He really was. I really liked him a lot, and I still do. His messaging is great, but when it came to the Texas debate and he only raised $175, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
When Charlie Belay was a brand new comer and he raised almost 10 grand, I was like, ooh, this is not a good look for Josh. This might be it. And it's not his fault. He had a kid in the middle of all this, he had to go be with his family, had to disappear for a while. Rightfully so. I'm not mad at the guy. But, at the end of the day, you talk fundraising and stuff like that. It comes down to money, and he didn't do it. And a lot of times, let's just put it this way. The Texas debate is like the Iowa caucus for the Uniparty.
Yeah, that's right.
It really is.
Yeah.
So, if you don't get on that debate stage, that's a wrap. So, that kind of cancels him out, in my opinion. Do I think he's doing a great job? Yes, I do. I really do. I like him a lot, and I like his messaging a lot. But it's just not happening. Mike Termott, I feel like, is the only one. Well, no, that's not. Mike Termott and Lars Mapstead are the two that could really get all the libertarians on board. I think Michael Rectenwald is Mises Caucus or bust. And, as far as I'm Team Lars. I'm a Lars Mapstead guy. I've been a Lars Mapstead guy for long. I've been a Lars Mapstead guy for over a year now. He's been on my show 3 times.
He came on the radio show with Kevin and I. And I was in Long Island doing some work, and so I bought a $250 computer thinking I would be able to stream. So basically my computer froze up. Kevin had to talk to him for the whole freaking show. It was wild. So it was really an awkward kind of deal, but I enjoyed what Lars had to say. I like the issue. Issue, guys, that's yes, we're libertarians. We're not libertine. Lars, how did you guys know how Lars made his money, right? Adult friend finder,
What's wrong with how he's made his money, though?
No, it's not wrong. It doesn't bother me, but does it sell to America? Will it get us to where it hits a mark? Do you see what I mean?
Look, the guy came from nothing. The guy literally grew up in a house with no electricity, was taking a shit in the outhouse his whole life, and then turned around and became a multi-millionaire with no help from anyone. He did it himself.
Sure.
He
Yeah.
understands the economy. He understands how the money works. He wants to go to war with the Federal Reserve, and he wants to take down the state.
That's
Yeah, but
a
it's-
big message for the
Oh, yeah.
mainstream
Good message,
America
right.
right
You
now.
know what I'm saying? Like for me, Lars Mapstead is by far, he's by far my candidate when it comes to this. If I did rank choice voting, it would be Lars Mapstead, Michael Rechtenwald, Mike Tremont.
All right.
And I think they
It's
belong
just
in each
this-
other's
yeah.
cabinet. I think Michael Rechtenwald, the only reason, not the only reason, but like one of the main reasons, like he's not my top guy, is because his following is Mises or bust.
Sure.
So you're going to lose a lot of the libertarians when he gets in, especially like the eco people. The eco people are not voting for fucking Michael Rechtenwald. His messaging is great though, and a lot of people had, because I've had Rec on my show twice now, and I actually drilled him the first show because a lot of people were pissed off about him being a former Marxist and stuff like that. He answered my questions flawlessly. He didn't.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good.
He didn't skip a beat. He didn't, And one thing about me, I don't want to toot my own horn and shit like that, but there's one thing that I get from my mother. I get this from my mother, is I know how to read people. And he never gave me a vibe that he was feeding me a line of bullshit.
Right.
Okay. Michael
Well, that's
Rector,
cool.
like he never gave me that vibe at all. And everybody loves my mother. Anybody who's ever met my mom is like, oh, my mom, your mom's great. But she'll be the first one to tell you like, hey, this guy's fucked up. And like, I get that from her. That's something she gave to me, and I don't get that from him at all. Is he perfect? No. Is anybody perfect? No. But like, if you want to just get down to the nitty gritty, obviously Lars has the resources, but he also understands the economy and understands money. And that's what we need the most and he's anti-war. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, this is what we need the most. We got to throw that in too. Like, we need somebody who understands how money works, understands how the economy works, understands what it's like to have his dick in the dirt, and also understands what it's like to be rich as fuck.
That's fair,
And
man.
And
That's
that's
fair.
Lars
That is
Mapstead,
fair.
dude. I don't know how else to sell the guy.
But at the same, I mean, that's all fair, but at the same time, is the shit show known as America ready for somebody like Lars Mapstead?
No, and but we
Yeah.
all know this.
Yeah.
We all know this. The libertarian
Yeah.
will typically take 1 or 2% of the vote. RFK is going to take about 10% of the vote, and the other two fucktards are going to fucking figure it out between themselves. But we all know at the end of the day, the Federal Reserve already has their pick chosen already, and we look like a bunch of assholes when we go to the polls.
Donald J. Trump.
Ooh, I don't
Probably.
think they're going to let him win.
I don't.
I don't think they're going to let him win, dude. Again,
I don't think Joe Biden has like 6 months left to live. So it might be
They still have time to throw out a Michelle Obama or a Galvin Newsom, dude. They have time to do that.
Oh, not Mike. Not Mike Obama.
Mike runs, Mike wins. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh yeah,
Like
if Michelle Obama wins, it's over. That's
Yeah.
a wrap.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
wrap.
damn.
Michael Obama will win. You're right.
Michael
So is this
Obama
gonna be a
and her
Timcast
giant,
moment where
large
we take
giant.
we'll take a bet on this shit?
No, I think they've done enough investment in the whatever animatronic devices or other things they use to animate Joe Biden to make it work to the end. I think he's I think he's an animated corpse, and
He is.
they
It is the
basically
weekend at Joey's.
Yeah, exactly. It really is that. And I think they've done enough research and preparation. They were planning on animating that corpse all the way into a couple of years into a second presidency. That's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Yeah, is the idea of a President Kamala Harris terrifying? Of course it is. But you know what? I mean, at this point, the idea of any president, other than one of ours, is terrifying to me anyway. So I don't even care.
Ours aren't winning, so it's like we're fucked regardless.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter that much when it comes right down to it. So we have a President Kamala Harris sometime around 2026. Okay, That's. I mean, in a way, it's almost like, well, it can't be that different than electing, like say for example, we managed to elect what's my man, the guy with the boot on his head,
Berman.
Oh, fucking Berman
Oh.
Supreme! I love that guy, dude.
Absolutely.
I mean, a Kamala Harris presidency, would it be that different than a Vermin Supreme presidency? I don't think
He
so.
would be better than her.
Mike, so like that's the thing. How do we explain that to people? You're absolutely on point when we say things like Vermin Supreme would be just as good a president as Joe Biden. We're absolutely fucking on point. But he delivered fucking ponies, son. Like, come on. So like, but how do we get other people to understand that? Like, they don't get it. It's like this Joe Biden shit show. Vermin Supreme gets ponies for everybody, not just college kids. Okay, like,
right?
Ponies for everybody.
Universal.
It's the pony dividend.
Universal pony income, UPI, right?
I mean,
Universal.
Jesus, how do we get people to see this?
I like Vermin Supreme. I mean,
me too, man. I love it. I love it. It's
I thought that was
perfect.
brilliant. So again, we're looking at a messed up situation, regardless. But I think they got enough juice in whatever animated, whatever they're doing to animate the dead body of Joe Biden. I think it's got a few more years in it. It's like they tested it. Like, they're not stupid. The dystopians know what they're doing, and he's the mouthpiece for them. I mean, was it you guys mentioned Star Trek Deep Space Nine? I'll throw a classic Star Trek, original Star Trek at you, where Patterns of Force, second season of original Star Trek, where they have this guy who's basically this just fascist dictator of this entire planet, patterned after the Nazis, and he's a freaking zombie. He's dead. He doesn't. The microphone is like this in front of him. Like, he delivers all of his speeches like this because he's freaking a zombie, right? He doesn't move. He's a freaking zombie. He's all drugged out. I mean, if that's not this Joe Biden, I don't know what is.
I mean, they say Gene Roddenberry liked to predict the future, or at least use a compare contrast within the present.
You used a word there, Mike, that I don't know. I almost feel like it could be let's call it popularized, right? Like the dystopians, right? Like that. There was something like.
Are we hashtagging this shit?
I use that all the time on my page, guys. I say
I'm hashtagging that right now. I'm hashtagging that right now.
I like it. I mean, they need the emotional infants need something to latch onto to free them from their bondage of manipulation, right?
Lord, liberate the people from their
I hope I
bondage.
spelled that right. Did I spell? Oh, you can't see that. DYSTOPIANS.
Yeah, right. Dystopia. That because I hate the term globalist. Because I hate the term elite even more, because they're not elite; they're assholes. It's like, I don't call them elites. I don't call them globalists. They are dystopians, because that's what they want to inflict, and are in fact inflicting on the whole world.
That was my tweet. The dystopians.
The dystopians. That's who they are. That's what we're up against. They control the zombie of a president that we have. They control way too much, and that's their agenda is global dystopia, and that's why I have to draw a parallel line across because I have lots of friends across the world. I'm blessed by that. Like, Econ Bro from Nigeria. I mean, it's all dystopianism, right? It's the same thing everywhere. In the UK, you can't tell me that an unelected prime minister, Rishi Sunak, is anything other than a puppet of the dystopians. I don't call them globalists. That's too kind of a term. They're dystopians.
I just hashtagged dystopians and put it on Twitter. That was my tweet. That's it.
That's
the dystopians. Hashtag the dystopians. That's it. Hopefully it takes off. Maybe they'll be trending. Who knows? Probably not.
That's who we're up against. The whole anybody who values liberty is up against dystopians and the dystopian forces across the world, and we're the counter to that. The libertarians, it's libertarians versus dystopians. That's what it is. That's the battle that is enacting right before our eyes.
Before our eyes, and the issue is that we're finding allies, right? but
Yes.
the obviousness of the reality is escaping so many people that I'm baffled, right? Like I'm baffled. Like back in the day, like you could have a conversation about economics. You could have long form conversations with your friends about economics, about
Right.
things like inflation and how that's bad. And now you want to talk about inflation. You have 57 people trying to explain to you how a 2% inflation rate is ideal and that inflation wasn't that bad because the CPI says that your basket of goods that cost $100 in 2020 now costs $127. And it's like, I don't think that first of all, I have an economics degree from SUNY Binghamton, and it's literally that's not how that fucking shit works. Okay.
Right.
All right. Like if I'm buying meat, my basket of goods is $150. And so I lost a ton of buying power because of your devaluation. You know, like it's wild. I don't know. And I try to convince people, I try to persuade people. And I don't know. It takes more money than I got. It takes more juice than I got, fellas, but I try,
Yeah.
you know?
We
It's
need more
corporate
stimulus
greed, duh.
checks.
Yeah, it's corporate greed. Who said that? Yeah, it's corporate
Yeah,
That's
it's
greed.
corporate
dystopian,
greed. We need
damn
more
it.
stimulus.
Selective corporate greed, man. That's all it is. And shrinkflation. These motherfuckers came up with a shrinkflation reduction act. Their virtue has no bounds, fellas. It has no bounds. They love you so much that they will put words on a piece of paper in your honor, as long as it encourages you to love them and hate someone else. Like
Who started shrinkflation? I want to know that. I have an idea, but which one do you think started the shrinkflation? Because I think it's cereal and the chip companies who did that.
I thought it was Nixon.
Sounds like a Chuck Schumer.
Well, shrinkflation has periodically made appearances throughout history, right? Where people get pissed off because their box of shit that they buy that loads fat onto their body, right? All of a sudden got smaller and the price stayed the same. So people called it shrinkflation. It just didn't have the emotional leverage that it has now, you know, because we have a party or a apparatus that relies on words like shrinkflation and racism and anything to demonize something other. The othering, look, the Weimar Republic, the othering came in where we like other the Jews and we other the other, you know, people that don't agree with us. That's what's happening right now. And I don't know, it freaks me out. But how do we fix it? That's what I keep going back to, man. How do we fix it?
And the Fed.
And the Fed would be a good way. That would disempower the government. It really would.
It really would. If I was to pick one goal, that's it. If I could just do one thing overnight, and we end the Federal Reserve, and there's no more centralized banking in the United States, and first of all the central banks everywhere else would crumble too, and we have a fighting chance to reorganize society along libertarian lines, along lines of individual rights. It disempowers everything that is wrong and wicked and, dare I say again, dystopian about the world. That'd be fantastic. That'd be a great first blow, and it would make everything else we're trying to achieve a lot easier.
I mean, look, if you end the Feds, the wars are over, the empire's over. That's it. Seriously. Not to say there wouldn't still be violence, but they would be like little mini wars, little turf wars and gang wars and shit like that. They could be worked out in a couple days. Not taxpayer money funded bullshit that go on for 20 years just to replace the Taliban with the Taliban. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like my old
worked out quite
Taliban.
well, thank you.
Yeah. I miss Mullah Omar. He seemed like a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, he's a good guy.
He didn't deserve those drone strikes in the Tora Mountains or Tora Bora Mountains. I'm thinking of the movie, the Vietnam. They're the World War II movie. Tora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Basically, the whole roadmap of all World War II right in one film.
That's
But
right.
it is.
Yeah.
It really is. Good movie though. Very good movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of a war-torn shit kebab of complete mess, when we were you were explaining this before we started recording, Sean. the education, Matt. Well, first off, just the political shit show Michigan's become, but the education matter that seems like it's taking over everything in this country. But Michigan looks like it's a battleground for
Michigan,
complete destruction.
so here's what they're trying to do right now in Michigan. They're trying to completely axe the charter schools. They are, which is crazy because the charter schools are in the cities, okay, where they can't afford to keep the government schools open. So it's the only choice for inner city kids that don't have much money, the families that don't have much money to send their kids to school and get a decent education, which the charter schools are actually much better than the government run schools, okay?
Mhm.
Same in California.
Now the state of Michigan are trying to pass a bill right now that'll put the screws to the charter schools, okay? And then also there's something else on the table that they want to put homeschooling parents on an extremist list.
Shit.
Oh yeah, this is happening here. And so let me throw this out here at you though, before I go any further. Right now in the state of Michigan, we have kindergartners, and this might sound silly and retarded to a lot of people, but this is serious. There's kindergartners that do not know how to spell their name, know their phone numbers, know their addresses, or you know what I'm saying, like know how to do certain things that I knew how to do as a kindergartner. You had to know your phone number, you had to know your address, you had to know how to write your name, you had to do certain things, just to move on in school. These kindergartners don't know that. And we also have third graders who can't read at all. And then let's put the icing on the cake. We have seniors in high school who are supposed to graduate, quote unquote, who have third grade reading levels. And now the state of Michigan is trying to monopolize education to force your children into these schools where they're not learning anyways. This is happening here. This is a real thing. And I'm actually going to go, it's not quite a protest, I found out. It's more of a church group, apparently, that they're going to go pray at the state capitol, which is cool. I'm a Christian. I've been putting Bible verses on my Twitter for, a couple few weeks now because I needed to step away from my pod and get right with the Lord because for whatever reason. And I'm going to go pray with those people because,
awesome.
I'd support it.
But they're literally trying to force children into a school system that's not teaching them at all. And it's all about the fact that they're not getting the federal money per child. That's all it is. That's all it is, because they get X amount of dollars per child to keep them in school, and now they're losing it. Here's the thing. I don't know what the statistic is, but I know like last year, and it wasn't in Michigan, I'm talking as a whole in the United States, there was 2 million less children in government-run schools. So it's digging into their pockets. They can't handle it. So now they're going to pass bills and laws to force your children into these schools where they're not getting an education, and to boot, they're like telling them they can cut off their dicks and shit.
Right. Instead of competing in the market for a good education, for offering a quality product, they decide to use force to destroy the competition. And that's a recipe for disaster. It's an ongoing dystopian pile of shit.
The dystopians, get your children out of fucking government-run schools immediately. There's my rant right now. Get them out of there. You don't understand what they're doing to your children. I did not bring children into this world, but I will die on that hill for them. I promise you I will.
Right.
Okay? Like this is getting ridiculous. Leave these kids the fuck alone. They're children. They don't need to be hearing about sex other than the birds and the bees. That's all they need to know, man. This is how babies are made. That's that. They don't need to know if Sally has the dick or otherwise or this, that, or the other. Enough is enough. Stop shit. Leave the kids the fuck alone. I apologize for my rant, but
the same thing is happening in Sacramento this weekend as well. There's a similar test for the same reason as what's happening in Lansing. there is a defiance of, because of course Sacramento's going to try to force kids into these schools, right? And the reality is that the charter schools are out. My 16-year-old's in a charter school, right? It's outperforming anything that happened. Like I pulled him out of public school as soon as the tampon dispenser went up in the boys' bathroom. He was out. I'm done, right? And so at this point, we're doing the same kind of thing in Sacramento this weekend as well. And it is a prayer thing, right? And it's like, so I'm on board. I'm not going up to Sacramento, but yeah, I'll be praying for you guys, for sure. And it's a real thing. They're trying to force parents into putting their kids in a failed school system. It never was sustainable, right? So it's already crumbling, and they're doing everything they can. They're using force to try to prop it up. And the beauty of it is, even that won't work. It's like, and this is a perfect opportunity for civil disobedience on a statewide scale. And it also, this is the thing I think is really important to note, is that it crosses all ideological boundaries. This is not just a libertarian or even a right wing thing. It's like they're left wing who are like, no, Gavin Newsom, this you're failing in this area, right? It's maybe great that you're doing all these other things that we like as lefties, but you're failing in education. You have not improved the school system in California. I'm sure the school system hasn't gotten any better in Michigan. Probably isn't getting any better in New York either. So, right? But it's an opportunity for people. This is actually a pretty broad-based resistance.
Because at the end of the day, like, these children, these kids are going to be the ones who are going to be taking care of us when we're old. Like, these are going to be the ones who are in charge, right? And they're teaching them this bullshit. Not to say, like, I don't want to just say, like, education is bad. Like, we need to learn how to read and write and do math and know science and stuff like that, But when it comes to history, we were all fed lies, and they do not need to be sexing up these kids in the schools. I'm telling you right now, that needs to end. Parents need to grow some balls and say enough of this shit. Seriously. Because, like, look, man, they need to learn about procreation, because obviously kids are going to be kids and they're going to do what they do. We all did it, right? But they don't need to be worrying about, like, is this person a boy or a girl, or what can we call them, or what's this and that? It doesn't matter. They're children, man. They're kids. Leave them alone. Let them be children and grow up and figure it out on their own like the rest of us did, man.
Yeah, I feel like it's a divide strategy, right? Like we encourage them to seek an identity that may or may not actually line up with who they are. We are teaching them something that is appealing to them. This notion that somehow they're special, that somehow they're unique by how they come to identify themselves. And that separates them from their parents. It separates them from a peer group, and it separates them on some level from a rational, like, future, right? Like, and look, I don't know. I'm not woke. Like, if people want to be adults and live their lives the way they want to, that's fine. But when government is encouraging,
if they want to be adults and live their lives, that's great.
Right.
And
when the government is handing them a menu, let's say, of what their gender could be, and then the reward is special days and special treatments and things like that, I get very concerned that we've incentivized gender dysphoria, right? Like, we've incentivized it and we've turned it into something that is anti-society and pro-individual, but on a sense of indulge yourself in your most narcissistic fantasy and we'll reward you. And maybe look, someone could tell me that I'm being very unfair to people who feel gender dysphoria, and that gender dysphoria is a legitimate way to handle your life. I would listen to them, but I'm kind of here, like, going, this doesn't make sense, And I don't think it's just because I'm old, right? Like, I don't think it's just that. I don't think I'm out of touch, right? I love everybody. I want everybody to be happy, but, like, being happy is also, like, being cool with who you are and what you look like, not going in for a surgery that drastically modifies the way you look, not taking drugs that drastically modify what you're going to develop into. Like there's something incredibly wrong, but we see it all the time, right? That's why the dystopians is going to work. Like it's going to catch on. This is weird ass shit that too many people are invested in. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Dude, teachers under law are allowed to talk to their students about transitioning without parental consent.
Yeah, we get what we incentivize.
This is happening here. This is happening in the United States. Now, I'll tell you what, and it's probably a good thing that I don't have children, because if I found out that some teacher was talking to my child about these things behind my back, you would hear about me on the 11 o'clock news. I promise you that. I promise you that. 100. Hi,
I have kids. I went through it. I saw it happen. Okay. I saw it develop. I saw the groups that the teachers offered, the school offered for kids of divorced families. And it gave them an inroad to talk to them about self-identification. Now, girls are very prone to it. And this is totally sexist. Sorry, but like girls are prone to it. Boys can resist it, and girls can resist it if you have conversations with them. You got to be like, there's a value to socializing your kids. I'm not a supporter of public schools. I'm a supporter of parents doing what they want. I'm a supporter of competition when it comes to education, and simply offering them an education is better than this whole psychobabble nonsense that's going on right now. So that shit's got to be able to be fixed. It's got to be.
Well, it's a feature of the system. They have the power, just like the what's his name, Javier Milei, and
right,
in, Argentina. You know, he wouldn't be able to do what he's able to do if they hadn't put those things in place. And they've got a term for what we're talking about. They call it cracking. They crack people's gender identities, and they manipulate them and condition them to be on their roadmap.
Okay.
They're trying to influence it and grow what they're doing.
Now, is it Marxism? Is it just counterculture? Is it like seeking to empower a centralized governing authority? Like, what of those things do you think it's more of?
For the long time, like 1800s, they had this thing called social purity and social pollution. They're trying to influence the way people act and behave. It's imposing your ethical worldview on other people so that you have more power and influence over how other people act, and know you can maintain your position and survive as an idea.
And the Marxists hijacked that certain idea back as we get into the 20th century in order to expand upon Marx's ideas of counter economics or whatever the fuck bullshit that is. And made it into a cultural phenomenon.
What can be the goal here? To destroy society? Like to reinvent society? Like what
reinvent,
but to the benefit of whom, right? Like that's the thing. Who are they benefiting?
They're forcing everybody to be on the same page. It's called power struggle. It's called the Chinese had another term for it. I can't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head. Sorry, I have what's it called? A brain
fartism.
Forgive me. Yeah, no, brain fart.
I live with it. I just power through it. Like that's why I changed subjects and then started asking questions towards it, because I already forgot what I was saying, and I just want to get you guys talking again, because it's like
I smoke weed, so you're speaking my language. Dude.
I think I've been ranting for like 30 seconds, and I'm not sure what I'm saying anymore. I don't know if it's age or what, but believe me, I get it.
I understand. I'm a junkie, so I'm a 15-year recovery junkie. I get you with the fuck.
Man, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, bro. That's awesome.
Man.
That's awesome.
That's great, man. I know
just
too many
because
people.
there shouldn't be a war on drugs doesn't mean you should just use drugs, right? Like it's not good for you.
It shouldn't be it shouldn't be jail. You shouldn't go to jail for any of that stuff if you're struggling with something. But that's actually an interesting segue into this topic, because obviously I think that consent is fundamental to libertarian ideology, and children can't consent, so therefore I'm all about, like, I don't care how you stop it, but at this point it's like there can be no gender surgery, gender treatments. Think if you're not the consent, that's evil. I mean, it is. Now, at the same time, for a consenting adult, if you're struggling with gender dysphoria, like I have two perspectives. Perspectives is what my faith says, and then perspectives is like how I know society should be organized. These are two different things, because one is the realm of Caesar and one is the realm of Christ, right? And I'm not trying to blend the two, because Caesar is beneath that. So in Caesar's world, in the world of the legal governmental society, then if you're trying to find your way as a consenting adult through your battle with gender dysphoria, then and you decide to do whatever you want to do to your own body as a consenting adult, that's okay. I mean, I'm okay with that from a societal and certainly from a governmental perspective. It's like, dude, you're a consenting adult. You do what you have to do. It's when you, and here's the big distinction, it's when you try to force others to participate in your in your quest to overcome your gender, or to deal with or cope with your gender dysphoria. You can't expect, because you have the individual right to do that, to do whatever you got to do in coping with that, but you do not have the right to force other people to share the same view of yourself that you have of yourself, or to join you in your coping with your dysphoria, or however you want to call it, with your transitioning, however you want to define it. You don't get to force other people to participate in that perspective. And so that's that. But here's the thing. It's absolute either direction. You have the right to do that as a consenting adult. You have the right to do whatever you want with your own body. We're libertarian. That's fundamental. But you also don't have the right to force other individuals to share that perspective with you. Yeah.
Well, a thought popped into my head, and it's probably going to pop right back out. But think about if you're struggling with gender dysphoria,
right,
and you are offered the authority of the government to punish people that do not accept what you're stating that you are. Like, that is it, like, this popped into my head. I don't know why, but I think it's important that we maybe flesh it out, right? That you're being offered by the government the power to punish people that don't accept your claims. It's gotta be fucking appealing, man. It's gotta be exciting.
But it's fascist as fuck, dude.
It is.
Sure, but people love fascism when it's on their fucking side.
Yes,
8 million fucking Germans managed to put 6 million Jews to death because they fucking loved the power. All right?
That's
they
right.
Loved it. They loved it. It thrilled them. And they suffered economically for decades under false promises from a government of kindness, like arguably, right? The Weimar Republic was this big open air. Hey, let's love everybody. Let's do free, let's keep everybody safe and take the guns. Let's get everybody a college education, right? And they failed economically because promises like that cannot be kept without rational economic trade-offs. Okay.
You just nailed it.
So then they sold them violence to punish their fucking enemies. Like, that's the reality. So I don't know what my numbers were off. Like I said, 8 million. It's like 25 million Germans decided, yeah, this works. Yeah, fuck these guys. They stole from us,
Yeah. It's the dystopianism. I mean, that's another aspect of dystopianism that, it brings it's otherism. Like that's another important facet of it, right? It's like we're going to make these people the bad guys, and we're going to empower you to punish them, and have you go along with it. Yeah, that it's very dystopian. That's the part of this of the like the hate speech law in Scotland I was referring to. It's dystopian as all hell. It basically is giving people the power to rat out other people. Now, it's also thankfully it's unsustainable, because anybody can complain about anything to anyone, and it becomes like it's a joke. It's like they spent 7 years trying to enact this law, and now that I give it 2 more months, and it's like, okay, we can't do this. But in a more carefully crafted way, I can see it becoming a really big issue. Exactly, because it rewards people with the power to punish those that you don't like, and that's intoxicating. It's I dare I say it's a little bit demonic. Okay, I'll just go ahead and say that. It's creepy, man.
Mhm.
And I think that's where we're headed. Again, not just in this country, but in other countries even worse. And other countries are on the way. So it's an underlying dystopian current when it comes to this issue. People have every right to do whatever they want to do as consenting adults with their own bodies, but it's when it starts to cross over. Like, okay, well, I want to punish these people that don't accept who I want to be or who I'm choosing to be. And that's where it gets dicey as hell.
And those are the
Yeah.
first people who will be walked onto boxcars, by the way.
That's right.
I'll be taking a
Those are the
selfie.
first people. I just said that out loud. You can call me an anti-Semite if you want, all of you. I don't care. No, seriously. Those people who buy into that shit will be the first ones to be walked onto boxcars, because the ones who aren't buying into it are going to be the ones who resist it.
That's right.
Mhm.
It's absolutely right. And so we have kind of an obligation, I think, once again, because nuance has been removed from public discourse. Like it's almost vilified, right? Like you're almost not allowed to have a nuanced position. So I think it's important to bring to bear that nuance. Like, hey, you as a consenting adult have the right to do whatever you want to do with yourself, with your own body. That's an important distinction. And I think, I guess I'm going to assume he's pretty good at this. You guys tell me, because I haven't seen enough of it. But I think Chase Oliver can kind of deliver that message fairly well, right? I think like where he makes the distinction, like, okay, well, I'm not going to force people to accept trans, but I'm going to let consenting adults be consenting adults, and that includes self-mutilation if they so choose. That
Mhm.
right? I mean, I have to go along with that. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not going to, in my personal prayer life, doesn't mean I'm not going to pray for you. I hope you don't do that, and pray for whatever I think is going on in your life.
I'm going to pray you don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Pray you don't do that. Pray that you find some other, way to cope with that's healthier. But I'm not going to, from a libertarian standpoint, I'm sure I'm not going to use Uncle Sam or Caesar to take that right away from you, because I don't think it's a good idea. But at the same time, you're not going to force me to go along with it either. You're not going to force me to like participate in your. So yeah, I'll go ahead and say your delusion. You're not going to force me to do that.
Look, I think there's a issue. Like we all feel slightly uncomfortable saying what we're saying right now, and I get it, but the fear is real, man. Like, what we get canceled, we may get a knock at the door in the dead of night, like that. That's they have very craftily enforced their power, even subtly, through this threat, this constant threat. It's wild. It's wild. I don't know. And again, some of it is I do want to be kind to people that are experiencing whatever it is that they're experiencing.
Sure.
But part of it's also like, I'm scared that I'm going to piss the wrong person off, or a government agent feels obligated to investigate me for my radical notions,
Here's
weird.
what's going to happen. I'm going to break it down for you like this. Either they're going to come and get us all, the people like us who are like, no, you're all wrong, right? It doesn't matter.
Right.
You're speaking out against the dystopia, or we're going to win.
Amen.
Arguably,
Yeah.
in Stalin's Russia, right? The people that actually fucking lost were the people that helped him get in power in the first place, right? So the malcontents, the real communists who really believed in communism, those were the ones that got loaded into the boxcars, not the people that would go along to get along, that would participate in a productive society. The fools that put him in power are the ones that went off to the fucking gulag, or the ones that didn't survive his purges. Like, that's a reality. So when I see these people propping up the government, I'm like, I don't think you understand history at all. Like, you're going to be the first ones to go, because we're still living our lives. We're still doing shit. Your goal is to put them in power, and you're doing nothing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm telling you, I don't think we're going to be the ones in the boxcars. It's going to be the ones that get them in power in the first place.
Yes.
Like, because you're still going to paint houses. I'm still going to build shit because I like to build shit. Like, I'll build it for a box of eggs if the government makes me, right? You're going to paint a house for whatever the government dictates because you have a family that you want to take care of. This is a reality. It's the useless ones that put these psychopaths all the way into power that are going to be, I don't know, gonerized. They're going to, who knows? Like, I'm exaggerating to make a point, I guess, but there's a certain amount of reality to what I'm saying. History has told us this is a reality.
But we are the minority, and the minority is the one who makes change every time. That's the white pill. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Right. We can do this. And at the end of the day, let me put this, all right. So I took a break from my show for a little bit. Okay. Sure. And it was because it was too much black pill. I had to step away from this shit for a while because it was making me fucking crazy. Honestly, it was too much. It was too much. You know, how many times can I see a bad news story or a report on it, or just black pill my fucking listeners over and over and over and over again? No, you have to sometimes step away from that. Bury your face in your Bible. I've been reading Psalms. I'm serious. I've been reading Psalms, and I'm going to go into Proverbs because Psalms and Proverbs are the meat and potatoes of the Bible, in my opinion. Okay. But dude, if you're a believer in Christ, you're not going to lose. You win. It doesn't matter.
That's the thing, right?
None of this matters. It doesn't matter. I don't care what anybody says. And you're in a cult and blah, blah, blah. No, if you're a believer in Jesus Christ, we win at the end. It doesn't matter. This is all written in the book. Okay. So what are we doing, right? What are we doing here? Are we trying to stop something that's already written in the book? Because you're not going to tell God no. It's impossible. Right. You're not going to tell him no. But what we can do is try to white people into some things, instead of being like, oh my God, it's so bad. And there's nothing we can do about it. No, there is something you can do about it. Get saved. Walk with the Lord. Because at the end of the day, you win. This world doesn't matter. This government doesn't matter. None of it matters. It's written. It's written.
Okay, but look, let me put this out there. Not to counter you so much, but obviously it does matter. Okay, obviously what you're seeing, you and Mike, and you guys are way more I can tell already. And Zach, you guys are more religious than I am. I'm not an atheist. I am not, but I am not an organized religion guy. But this matters to you guys, and the question is why? And why are you putting in the effort to help other people change? That's the question, right? Is that in the end you win, or do you want to help people now, or some combination of
all of the above? All of it.
That's cool.
All of it.
I get it. That's good.
All of it, because liberty and freedom go with Christianity. Jesus was the OG anarchist.
He was.
He was the OG anarchist.
Yeah, the liberator of liberators, not just the King of Kings, right?
Yeah. I'm certainly an advocate for Christian philosophy, right? Regardless of my organized religion acceptance or unacceptance.
I don't believe in organized religion either, dog.
Fair enough.
Yeah. We're occupying territory for the king to come back, right? It's it's really, I look at it as we're here to take the land for the king. We're here to, more importantly, take win people's souls that have been poisoned by the cult of statism. Because there's only one, but by believing in a king who is not of this world, you effectively reject all the kings of this world, and that's where that's what Sean's saying. It's Jesus was the first anarchist. Because he was the real king, right? It's you guys are all pretenders on the throne. You're all posers. Caesar is a joke when he said render to Caesar that which is Caesar's, because Caesar didn't have anything that wasn't stolen. Right? Caesar. We're not to participate in Caesar's economy. The first century church was a perfect example of agorism. In my opinion, I'm actually putting together some deeper research into that, because I would say that despite how secular Samuel Conkin was, reality is the first century church is a picture perfect agorist society. And the part about it is that they undermined the probably the most effective global dystopia to date, the Roman Empire, just by being who they were. That to me is the example we have to follow. Those are the people that actually, at least could trace their maybe only a few degrees of separation from Jesus himself. That's why the first century church, I think, was so legit. And it's now 2,000 years later. The 21st century church needs to wake its ass up and be like the first century church. That to me is again reflecting agorism. It is a message of liberty. It's a message of embracing the liberator of liberators and the only true king who puts to shame any earthly king or kingdom there could ever be. That's a sermon over. I'm off my soapbox. Sorry.
Well, think about it though.
Sorry.
Don't hurt people.
Gotta stop.
Don't take their stuff. Do
Right.
good deeds. That all came from Jesus. That didn't come from anarchy.
Right.
That came from Jesus. He was telling people to do this, 2,000 plus years ago, man. And not to get like super religious or whatever, but like that's where I'm at in my life right now. And I'm a horrible Christian because I still say fuck and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But like, and that's something I'm gonna have to get past. But that doesn't mean I'm not a Christian. I have a past. I have a way I grew up. I'm a 44-year-old construction worker, and an old restaurant worker. We said fuck a lot. And I don't mean to say it. It just kind of comes out, and I'm trying to get better about it. But that doesn't take away the fact that I'm a believer. And the fact of the matter is that, at the end of the day, we need to not only liberate people from the government, but we also need to bring them back to faith. Like, people have so much faith. People are treating government as their God.
I agree.
right.
I agree with that.
This is like, and the Bible talks about this in Revelation. Like, people will turn their back on God and worship false idols. Like, what do you think government is right now? It's
For
a
sure.
idol, and
I
people
pretty
are
regularly
believing in it and worshiping it, and it's happening. And they talk about it also. There's going to be wars and rumors of wars and one world government and one world currency. Dude, we're on the road to CBDC. We're talking about the WEF. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I get goosebumps talking about this shit. I love you guys. I love everyone. I want everyone to be, I want us all to be together in the kingdom at the end of the day. And I want to bring you all to it. And I know not everyone's a believer, but like, this is happening and it's written, and we need to pay attention and recognize this. I'm really sorry. I'm actually not sorry I got really religious about this.
I don't
sorry.
Hey,
Nobody.
I don't think you should be sorry.
I'm not sorry. I want everyone to walk with the Lord. I want us all to be, together when the end comes, like I had major surgery last year, and I almost died or whatever. And I remember right before they put me under, I looked at my surgeon. I said, you guys better not kill me because I'm either supposed to die in the rapture or the revolution. And the look on their faces was priceless. And then all of a sudden I went nunite for a while.
That's awesome.
But I mean that, like we need to understand, like, faith belongs in our society. If you, like, a lot of us shit all over the Constitution, but the Constitution meant well. The way it was written, it I don't know how to explain it.
I'll explain it for you. It was perverted by narcissists. It was written as a constraint on government that, in fact, was used by psychopaths to create the largest fucking government the world has ever seen. Okay,
Thank you.
This is
Amen.
amazing how they perverted the intent of the Constitution, and the fact that Christian philosophy absolutely was at the heart of the creation of the Constitution, that
Yes, it
individual
was.
rights and
Yeah.
responsibilities go hand in hand,
Yes.
and that there was no king worthy of worship. That's absolutely enshrined in the
That's
Constitution.
huge. Yeah.
Absolutely
Thank you.
enshrined
Unless-
in the Constitution. But
Yeah.
it's
Unless
a
you were
goddamn
George
good way,
Washington.
regardless of whether you're religious or not, it's a goddamn good way to live your life. Period.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So-
And another thing that, speaking kind of the metaphor I like to use a lot, it's not even really a metaphor. The four horsemen of the apocalypse are riding right now. They're already in motion right now. They're picking up their pace. Obviously war is a military industrial complex. Pestilence is the World Health Organization, and those like it. And famine is the net zero nonsense. They're literally trying to starve us by destroying the farmers. And of course, death is the depopulation cult. These are all real things that are influencing the world events right now. So even if you think that it's just a sort of hyperbolic metaphor, I don't care. But I'm telling you, that needs to be taken seriously. And I think we as Christians need to be the tripwire to the four horsemen. Right? There's no reason why we can't, in faith, at least slow down the rapid pace of which these horsemen are advancing. And I think that's
can I ask why would you?
Well,
if you win in the end and
right.
the kingdom is promised, why would you slow it down?
Because you want to bring people to the kingdom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what a liberator does, and I think we serve a liberator of liberators. That's what because the king that we serve opposes that kind of darkness, and I want to be like my only one true king, whose kingdom is not of this world, and oppose all the forces that are of this world, namely, as I just mentioned, the four horsemen and all of the idol worship that goes on, and because it's
there, it's real,
right? It's there, yeah. The whole implementation of state communism is about worshiping the state instead of God, right? So it's like if that's not what we oppose, I don't know what is. One of the things I'm working on right now with these guys that are getting heavily persecuted in China right now is a Falun Gong religion, which is basically it's not Christian by any stretch, but they have the same values. And they're getting persecuted by the Chinese Communist Party. Why? Because they worship something other than the state. And I identify with that, man. I'll partner with you. We may not have worship the same way or the same God. Like maybe whatever it is. Like I feel that anybody is being persecuted because they won't worship the state is a friend of mine. And so
I'm with you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
no, I'm down with that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just put it out there like this. Here we are in today's society. Everything's on fire, right? And Jesus spoke of people turning their back on him and speaking out against him. Now, America wanted a godless society forever and ever and ever. They took, God out of everything. Well, guess what, guys? You reap what you sow. It's happening right now. You have a godless society. Look what's going on right now. Everything's on fire. Everybody hates each other. Everybody's pissed off. The political climate's out of control. Nobody can afford everything. Life is crazy. It's because they took God out of everything, man. I'm telling you right now, they took God out of everything, and here we are. And it's because of the media and the government. They did this. They did this to us.
To what end? Like, why do you think they did it? Because arguably, I agree that there has been in my lifetime, right, a constant, ongoing narrative that takes and separates people from the possibility of participating in a wholesome religion that would probably provide them with community, offer them a philosophical base that would probably be good for them, and it's been supplanted. Like, but why? Why did they do it? Why are they continuing down this road? Does that question make sense? Is it work with the framing of what you're saying?
Sense. And they write about this. They're like, dude, first off, the Bible is the greatest book ever written.
Preach, brother.
Honestly. and then the second book, the second greatest book ever written is the Creature of Jekyll Island. That's okay. But even the Bible speaks like Jekyll Island type stuff in a way. You know what I mean? Like it's all about, people stealing and taking from you and stuff like that. But anyways, it's not all about that. But, they speak about things like this. But it's all about taking away your faith and putting your faith into something that isn't real. If that makes any sense. Like, the powers that be, the government wants you to believe in them, not God. They
Yeah,
don't.
no, they obviously, right? Like that's obvious.
God doesn't
Yeah.
matter in the eyes of the government, and it's so hilarious that all these people in power portray themselves to be Christians, especially Mike Johnson, our lovely speaker who just voted on Spiza. Trust me, Jesus don't want you to be spied on.
Well,
Jesus
it
is
goes.
spying on you on his own, okay?
Yeah, it goes to it all corresponds with the creation story and the serpent and the tree of truth and knowledge. It all comes down. It all corresponds to it. Jesus' teachings, the gospel, it goes back to Adam and Eve and the serpent and eating from the fruit from the tree that God said, you have everything, you just stay away from this. And then the serpent tempts Eve, and then Eve inevitably takes the fruit and then gives some to Adam, and all shit hits the fan, and they realize that they're naked. They lose their innocence. That's where we're at in today's society. And for America's only, the United States is what? Oh, we're only 240 something years old, right? 220 something years old.
We've been at war for like 239 of
Yeah,
them. Something.
exactly. And we've been kind of, we're in our adolescent stage, and we're just now getting into that fringe of like reaching peak young adulthood where we're losing that innocence. When you're a kid, you like the days seem longer, the years seem longer, everything's like there's nothing to worry about. You're just a kid, and then all of a sudden, like as an adult, it just comes over you, and you're like, "Whoa, I'm gonna die soon." Kind of like that.
You just said life is the blink of an eye, and it really
Exactly.
is.
In psychology,
And
they have,
Mhm.
sorry.
No, go ahead, Andrew.
I was saying in psychology they have a term for this called jouissance, or going beyond the pleasure principle you basically spin up the death drive and you enter into a fallen world.
hmm And effectively, that's basically growing up and realizing that there's more to life in just a short span, and
Things like
you
me.
lose that you lose that innocence factor that we all have as children, and that's effectively what the creation story is we lost that innocence factor by committing the first great sin, the original sin, disobedience of God. And look where we're at now, because we turned away from perfection, utopia, and now we're fixing to fall into a trap of dystopia, all because of that one simple mistake. Whether you believe in the creation story or not, I mean, it's a simple parable that means exactly what it is: perfection and the chase back towards perfection, the loss of perfection and the chase back towards perfection.
Yeah.
When we speak of freedom and liberty, we should also speak of Christianity, because like Mr. Mike said, man, Jesus Christ was the liberator of liberators. So if you want to be liberated from all of this, you accept Christianity. I mean, I don't know what to say.
I think, okay, now here's, I'm going to throw this out there, because of course Christianity, or C.S. Lewis called it Christendom, has been so poisoned with a lot of empty religion and empty religious practices that I think we almost need to be specific to the point of calling it, this is what my friend calls it, Christfulness. Like it is just being full of who Christ is, like being full of him, who he is, and having that intimate relationship with your creator is kind of the main, that's what it's really all about. It's about relationship. Like one of the scariest verses in the Bible is like, hey, Lord, we did all these great things in your name. We did all this cool stuff for you. And he says, well, yeah, but you never knew me. Depart from me. Right. It's like, it's all about knowing who he is and having that intimate relationship with your creator. That's what it should be about. It's not about like, did you go to church on Sunday or whatever? It's about having a relationship with him. Right. And I want to have a relationship with the liberator of liberators. I want to have a relationship with this person who puts to shame all the earthly kingdoms and kings and all the nonsense, right? All the stuff that eventually leads to destruction and dystopia. I want to follow the guy that like shames all of that puts it to shame. That makes sense to me. And it also is, again, it's not even a religious thing. It's a relationship thing, and that's it kind of become a cliche too in a way, but it's true.
I want to
Well,
lead by his impression.
Yeah. And it's like,
Mhm.
and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of horrible Christians out there. Like, there's some fake ass Christians out there. There really is.
Right.
Like people like Joel
There are.
Osteen, like I'm not
Right.
buying into that guy. Like, there's certain Christians that are out in the open that I'm like, man, you're not all right. You know what I mean? But like, look, man, look, if you're following the Bible, you're straight, dude, because that's the ultimate teacher. That's going to take you in the direction you need to go. That's going to give you all the answers you ever need.
You're not a big fan of Jim Baker?
No. I'm a big fan of the Bible and anybody who's teaching it. I watch a church. I don't actually go to a church. I watch church service online every Sunday. I watch 4 Points Church. They're out of Georgia. Dude, I love those guys, man. They're great. I've been watching them for over a year. And in my walk with the Lord, I grew up Southern Baptist, okay? And then I rebelled. Obviously, I'm rebellious. I'm a libertarian anarchist. I'm a rebellious dude. And I went on my own way for a while. And I did some really bad things for a lot of years. And now it's come to a point where, like, I almost died. I got really sick in November of 22. And I literally almost died. My colon perforated. I had an abscess that was draining inside of me. I was in the hospital for 8 days. I went home on IV antibiotics, dude. It was fucked up. My wife had to shoot me up with antibiotics like a dope fiend for 10 days. It was scary, man. And I was like, man, I need to get right. I need to get right with Christ. Something told me, like, yo, dude, you need to get right. And so I did. And I've been watching that church service since November of 22. And then all of a sudden I stopped watching church for like a month. I quit watching church and shit got really dark, real dark. Not like I want to hurt myself dark, but like, doom and gloom. Like, we're never going to get out of this. What are we going to do? Like, oh my God. And I was showing that in my show and I'm like, no. And God was telling me, dude, take a break. Take a break. And that's another reason that I know that, like, this stuff is real, man, because it's got dark in that month. And then all of a sudden I got back into my Bible. I put the news down for a little while and things got bright again. And now I'm talking to you guys again, And so to tell me that Christ isn't real, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hopefully that's not the impression that I gave you.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay.
No, but like other people, like
people do.
My Bible verses every day now, ever since then, and people are like, are you in a cult or something? I'm like, well, no, I don't worship government. That's my
Yeah,
answer.
right. No, that'd be Satanism. No,
But no,
So listen, guys, I love you all. It's been 2.5 hours. I've enjoyed
we gotta go.
get out of this, but like I'm old, man, and I need some sleep, and I got to take my meds and all that shit. All right?
They got you on meds. No.
Yeah, well, some of them seem to be working.
Exactly.
I got you.
All right, man. Guys, thank you very much.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you for
Good evening, man.
jumping on board, Tim.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
I can't believe it's been that long. Holy shit.
I know. It's been a while. All right, good night, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we want to continue.
We should just wrap it up. This is the longest podcast ever, man. Nobody.
This is probably. We'll probably. Yeah. Let's wrap
I'll
it
be
up.
editing
Then.
this
Let's
in
wrap
3
it
weeks,
up.
then.
But
It might be a
well-
two-parter, right? You can just edit this
Yeah.
down into 2 different ones. Yeah.
Nobody listens.
We could.
Trust me. Don't do that.
what, the 2-parters?
Don't do it.
No.
Just
Nope.
go straight.
No,
Go straight
no,
through?
Go straight through.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I tried that twice now,
Mhm.
and I get about half the listeners on the second one.
Okay, got you. All right.
Well,
All right.
to wrap it.
I mean,
to
do what
wrap
you
it
want.
up,
I'm just saying that I've tried that. No, it's been 3 times. 3 times I did that, and all 3 times, like, half the listeners didn't come back.
Yeah.
And I wasn't talking about God either. I was raging.
It's all right.
Fuck the government, burn it all, yeah.
to wrap it up, let's let's talk just for a few moments about the God. He thinks he's God in his own little sick mind, I guess. David Hogg.
Oh yeah, we didn't even
What?
talk about.
It's
We
the
didn't
guns.
So-
go
It's
on
guns.
that, did we?
That's all I have to say is it's the guns. It's all the guns' fault, and it's the guns. David Hogg.
What did yeah, what do you think about that debate though? Get a little just to get a little bit of something before we kind of call it a night.
You know,
Bloodbath.
I
I
thought
haven't
that
actually had a chance to
it
watch
was
it
pretty
yet.
cool. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that they had. Well, yeah, because I complain a lot about how civil discourse has been kind of shoved to the side and is kind of almost shunned in our society now. But I got to say, I was kind of impressed that Dartmouth, with the political whatever it is, the Dartmouth poli sci people, whatever they put on this thing, and it was actually a civil discourse. So that in itself I thought was kind of impressive. And I didn't get to see I didn't watch it the whole way through, but I do think that was at least promising. I know that Kaufman from New Hampshire did a tweet saying yeah, you're not convincing anybody. It's like it's all feelings and emotions. You're not these debates don't necessarily do any convincing, and I kind of see where he's coming from, but I think that we're really the opportunity is more or less to plant a seed on the one sense that might grow into something, right? Or it maybe will reach somebody somewhere down the line. But I also think that when you do it in a truly civil discourse kind of format, you at least sort of rehumanize yourself as an opponent to their point of view, and vice versa. You can actually start. So all of a sudden, your opponent becomes a little bit more humanized. Even Hogg, sure, he's totally he's a narcissist. He's all these terrible things. But reality is that by him kind of like admitting to Lily Tang that he can't he can't confirm that any government will not become tyrannical. I mean that was an important concession, I think, on his part. And I'm like, okay, David, so you're admitting that you can't guarantee that this is still just a wish list for you. You can't guarantee that our concerns aren't warranted. I don't think he wanted to do that, but I think at least it shows, I don't know, more maturity than I was expecting to find with him. So I'm almost going to give him props for that, almost. But I'm not nearly as much props as I'm going to give Lily Tang, who I think honestly was the highlight of the whole thing that I saw anyway. But yeah, I think that the whole idea that people could sit down and actually have a discourse that was civil, and that's actually a really constructive thing, I think, in the long run, especially when we have to have our parallel society and have to convince them that don't go along with invading us or using going hostile against us, because our even though you may not agree with us, we were civil towards you, and we're like doing our own thing and you're doing your own thing. I think it goes a long way to that end, if that makes sense.
I will give David Hogg kudos for showing up.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to show up. I thought he was going to cancel last minute. I was like, this guy's not going to show up, blah, blah, blah. Kudos to him for showing up. He got embarrassed straight up on that stage. He had no rebuttals besides it was the guns, and it was like, well, Wikipedia, like, wow, a government run source, cool, which is like every government, everything. But like at the end of the day, I did like that he spoke out against FISA and the Patriot Act. I did dig that. Like, kudos on that. That was cool, because I think a lot of Americans are like, what the fuck when it comes to that, honestly.
Right.
Like, do we need to be spied on? Are you kidding me? Like, most everyone is a peaceful person in this world, and especially in this country. Like 99% of us are peaceful people. All this gun violence shit doesn't even constitute as 1% of the population.
Right.
Which a lot of people really, but that's all they show on the news is crazies going in the malls and shooting people or schools or whatever. They don't care about any of us going to work every day and just coming home and providing for our families and nothing happens. That doesn't make for a good story, But I look at anybody who's trying to take away your right to defend yourself as an enemy, and they should be treated as such. And I don't feel sorry for saying that. even God wants you to defend yourself. And
Right.
if you're married, like I look at it like this: especially if you're married, that woman is counting on you to protect her by any means. Like that's kind of part of the deal, you know? And so like when I lost my shit about the people in Dearborn screaming death to America, like that's 10, 15 minutes down the road from me, straight up. Like
Yeah.
I take that as a direct threat to my family, you know? And it also violates the NAP because they're threatening violence against Americans.
Right.
Whether they mean that or not, I don't know if they mean that or not. I don't know. But I know that I got this woman upstairs that counts on me to protect her no matter what. And I'm going to do that. And I don't care what anybody says about it. And nobody's going to tell me how I'm going to protect her either. Like nobody's going to tell me how to do that. I don't care. So like when it comes to the debate, Spike smoked him. Did Hogg have some good points? Sure he did. Of course he did. You know, he's not a retard. Well, yeah, he is. But, you know, he's not, you know.
He's at least articulate. Yeah.
He knows what he knows how to talk.
Right.
But like, look, people trying to take away your rights are not your friends. They're not. We need to stop accepting this. I don't know how else to word it. Like, you know, and if I look like an asshole for saying that, so be it. I guess I'm an asshole, but like nobody is going to tell me how I'm going to defend my family. That's not happening. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Well,
haven't had
in the
chance.
real. Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
I haven't had a chance to to watch the debate yet, but just going off what you guys have said, I have one very narrow point I want to make: is that in order to succeed, you have to fail a lot,
Yes.
and the more he fails, the more successful he'll be, whatever he does. I mean,
Yeah, and that
anybody
goes
can
off
benefit
of-
from that.
That's
for
pretty
one.
good, buddy. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and to go off of what you say, this is what it kind of goes off of what I'm saying. In the real world, there is no nap. I know libertarians like their nap, but it's fuck around and find
Yeah,
out.
take one.
And I mean, you can't. I mean, if you want to defend yourself, your family, your property, whatever, you're gonna have to do it at any means. So if that means that you got to shoot somebody in the head before they even get to you, I mean, that's life. I mean, it
Yes, and you just
sucks,
hit the nail
but
on
that's
the head,
life.
like you hit it, dude, because people say like, oh, the nap. So hypothetically, let's put a hypothetical situation. Mike, we have it out, right? And I tell you over the phone, yo, I'm coming to your house and I'm gonna inflict
Yep.
harm on you and your family. Are
Right.
you gonna
Mhm.
wait for me to come there? Are you coming to me?
Exactly. Preemptive
Yep.
strike, brother.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
not waiting for nobody to come here, dude. I'm not doing that.
Right. No, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's the non-aggression. It is very amorphous, right? It doesn't have a whole lot of substance when it comes right down to it. You have to you have to have the freedom to exercise judgment, and this is one of
Yeah.
those instances, like, and to do your own assessment of the danger. Now, this isn't to say that maybe like there's if somebody calls it into question, that maybe there isn't necessarily a trial-based situation, because I do think people can sometimes abuse that and maybe maybe way overreact. Possibly, I think that's obviously a possible thing. But let a jury decide, jury of your peers decide.
Right.
I think the nonsense that's happening right now, and especially the left dystopian cities where you have activist judges, I think it's a real problem when a guy defending people on a subway is arrested and is threatened to serve jail time. That's insanity, right? Like you have eyewitnesses to say, if he wasn't for him, I might very well be dead, and they arrest him anyway. That's insanity too. Like, so it's a fine line that the root of all of it is in the fundamental right to defend yourself, your loved ones, your property by any means necessary. And we have to kind of trust. I'd much rather trust people's judgment on how to go about doing that than to just simply disarm them. Like, I'm blown away by these European cultures that are basically like just nations of victims, that have are just completely overwhelmed by people who are more violent than they are coming into their country, and I can understand why they're concerned about all this illegal immigration, and it's bad. Sure, the U.S. has some concerns, but man, in Europe, where you basically have most countries are just full of victims who can't even defend themselves. It becomes a real issue. It's like, wow, what do we do with all this violence now? I mean, we have had to deal with this before, and I'm thankful that we at least have some degree of freedom left in the United States, where we can exercise some judgment in protecting ourselves, whatever means necessary.
But do
as
we
long
though?
as it's legal.
Yeah, but hypothetically, like if somebody breaks into my house and I blow their fucking head off, I get arrested still. They take
you
it
do.
away.
Yeah, exactly. We still have, but put it this
So
way.
like, where's the freedom there? Like, I'm defending my house, obviously.
Yeah,
But
the
hey,
only freedom. Let me clarify too, because the only freedom I'm talking about is freedom to have a firearm in the first place, right? I mean, what happens afterwards is in many cases, I think, an unfortunate legal battle, like the gentleman in the subway. But at least, my God, even in California, I can still have a firearm, right? I mean, it's got to jump through a lot of hoops, but that I shouldn't have to jump through. But you can at least illegally possess a firearm, even in states like New York, Michigan, and California.
right.
And so
New
you
York
at least
barely.
you at least have a fighting
Yeah.
chance. Like I'd rather have the fighting chance of, okay, I'll sort it out in court afterwards, than, oh my God, all I can do is pull a knife out, or all I can do is try to grab a kitchen knife, and this person's out, stabbing my family. I mean, it is, again. I'm not saying that things don't suck here, and there should be a lot more freedom, and that the Second Amendment's completely been infringed up one side down the other, to the point where it's almost pointless. But oh my God, we at least have more access to self-defense than other parts of the world. And I guess in a way, I'm thankful for that.
Well,
That's the thing. Like, oh, go ahead.
it's a loophole, man. If you may have these resources, you may have a gun, you may have a knife, but if there's no neutrality, then you're kind of screwed. Look at England. You can't have a knife unless you're 18 and show an ID to buy a silverware. In the United States, it's harder and harder to be able to defend your house and your property, because neutrality comes at a premium. You have to be able to buy neutrality. You have to be able to have that privacy, and this will go all the way back to the beginning of this conversation.
The conversation, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Well, privacy and intimacy, as we know it, is a memory. Like it's open, and FISA proved that. And as far as like red flag laws and stuff like that, I mean, my cousin's buddy just got red flagged, and all he was fighting with his old lady in the driveway. His neighbor called the cops. He didn't lay a hand on her. They were just got into a shouting match. The neighbors called the cops. They came and got his guns. They took everything. They took him away at everything, dude. We're on a very dangerous downward spiral when it comes to what's going on in America right now.
That's true.
Remember, you could always red flag cops.
And there's certain counties in Michigan during the lockdowns, like let's put it out there like this. Certain counties like would nullify gun laws, but they would enforce lockdown rules. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's like, where are we headed here? Or even like in New York, I wish Tim was still on here. Like, what's communism? The abolition of private property.
Yes.
In New York City, this woman tried to kick out some squatters and she got arrested. It's on video. So where are we headed here?
Yeah.
They had red
New
flag
York
laws
City
up
deployed the military on their own citizens. Where are we headed here?
Yeah.
There was a guy, Whiskey Warrior 556, I think it was, or something like that, and they red flagged him because he had an extended magazine or something like that, and it was this big to do a couple years ago about it, and they memory hold him.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, they had people like getting arrested in the cemetery, getting prepared to like protect the guy and stuff like that. Like they're gonna fight or protest against the police, and because the whole weekend, like the whole Saturday night, it was just like crazy on Facebook when it happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
This is why
that's
there's
where
people
we're
like us,
looking
you
at.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can bitch and moan online via Zoom,
Yeah.
Via Zoom.
but
But what are
to
we going to
make
do about it?
change.
Like at the end of the day, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to keep bitching? Are we going to stand up? Like what do we do? Like, this is a situation where,
Mhm.
because of J6, people are afraid to stand up for themselves because they
Yeah.
they genuinely believe that it was just a bunch of MAGA fags that went in there and fucking stormed the Capitol. When really we all know that the feds initiated that. Did some retards follow suit? Yes, they did.
Mhm.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
But the
It's called
feds
a
initiated
honeypot.
that. We know that. And now people are
Mhm.
like, well, we can't do this because look at what they did to the J6ers. It's a travesty what they did to J6ers. I'm not saying we need to go do violent things at the Capitol, but we can
Oh,
go
I
to
am.
their door and be like, yo, what the fuck?
We need to do violent things at the Capitol.
Oh, God.
No.
Feds are going to your
Severe.
house. I didn't say it.
Right. No.
Oh man.
Edit that out.
I'm talking old Emma Goldman bombs and dynamite, and we're talking old Emma Goldman before she got tamed after she got deported to Russia.
Damn. Woo.
Wow. Let's go. So we're in
They're
it.
probably tomorrow. Luckily,
Yeah,
I'll be in Columbus,
That's okay. But
banging on the door.
Oh, they're coming to all our houses. Oh, my God.
But
Hey.
it comes
Just
down
kidding.
to nullification, right? I mean, it's still a matter of
Mhm.
nullifying this nonsense,
Yes.
nullifying bad governance. Yeah, if enough people resist, then it'll just say no. If there's enough non-compliance, it's going to be risky. I think to your point, I think there's going to be times and places it's going to be
Mhm.
very, very risky. But peaceful non-compliance is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
You can nullify and just simply ignore. I mean, ignore this stuff. I mean, it's like you don't have that authority, you don't have that right, and let it play out where it may. It might get ugly for some people in some places. It might get ugly for us. I don't know. But the point is that we just simply don't follow. We just simply don't obey. I think that's the lesson of the COVID nightmare and all that.
Yeah.
That nonsense. Just don't go along with it. And if you have to get beat up over it, then so be it. But for the most part, it keeps coming back to just different layers and different levels of non-compliance and nullification. I can tell you, again, to go back to Huntington Beach, California, as an example. I mean, the city passed an ordinance that made lockdowns illegal, that made vaccine mandates, and mask mandates illegal. Like you cannot you'll be violating a city ordinance if you if you comply with a lockdown. You'll be violating a city ordinance if you put a vaccine mandate in any Huntington Beach business or require masks or anything. It's all now illegal in the city of Huntington Beach. So, obviously, if there is conceivably a ban that Governor Newsom wants to put on so-called assault weapons or whatever he thinks is the thing to do, which he threatens that all the time. Huntington Beach will just pass an ordinance that says no. That we're not going to do that. We're going to actually ban that infringement from happening in Huntington Beach, at least with the majority city council that they have. So there's precedent for non-compliance. There's precedent for nullification. So I'm kind of still hoping for more and more of that to be duplicated.
Yeah,
It's all
we
about
always.
getting the right people in the right chairs in your local place,
Mhm.
though.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and that's where the last episode that me and Andrew did with Rachel Sunshine. That's one thing that she actually explained was, I mean, we're anarchists here, but nothing wrong with jumping into the political sphere and operating in that system in order to be able to destroy it pretty
It is.
much.
It's legit. It's a form of self-defense
Yeah.
against the state,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you
Mhm.
engage stated systems as a form of self-defense. I mean, I've
Yeah.
always looked at voting as a form of self-defense. That's all I look at it. And I'm voting libertarian every year since 1990. Well, actually, since 1988, since I was first able to vote. But the point is it's not because I endorse the system. It's because I consider it a form of self-defense against the system. It's like I'm not. This is me not complying with you. Is what it is. And that the same goes for engaging. I think at the local level, a form of self-defense. If in fact, it's maybe the only justifiable reason is to defend against larger bodies of government, right? So you join the small government, your local government, to defend against the larger government.
So on the first Tuesday of May, I should go to my local polling station and just vote right in Harambe, Harambe, Harambe.
What's going on in May where you're at?
I keep telling Zach he needs to run for governor. Or mayor. Sorry, mayor.
I should.
Or even city council. I mean, I was talking to a guy that you might know as Yuri Bezimov's ghost on X.
Oh yeah, I love Yuri.
Yuri,
I love following that.
Yeah, I highly recommend you follow him if you get a chance. But I understand now in the UK that there's like 3 levels of local governance, and it's the lowest level is actually one of the easiest ones to obtain. And yet, if you're even remotely successful there, and you do even a remotely good job, you can go up to you can skyrocket. You can ratchet upward to higher levels of local governance. But each tier of governance essentially has, under the common law, which we share that with the United States here in the United States, has the means to repel larger form the larger town councils, like when we go up into more of the regional level, they can resist. They have a way of resisting their governance, under common law, and that's like, wow, that it's like built into their system. And I got him to like realize, like, this is something you should be doing. And he's like, we will. It's like this because their system is, honest to God, it's worse in a way, because there's almost no discernible difference between the Conservative Party and the Labor Party. Just like there's almost no discernible difference between Democrats and Republicans, and so they have a parliamentary system where this actually makes a little more sense, because nobody's been doing it right. So great conversation. That's a whole other topic.
Well, they are the old
Awesome.
Magna Carta, right?
That's right.
Yes.
I mean, it breaks my heart that they're disarmed, but at the same time, 3D printers are available for purchase throughout Europe through Amazon, and I just dropped that in a completely unrelated note. I drop that hint every now and again. So just
CNC machines, great.
Yes.
Hey Sal, where you at?
Make friends with somebody with a CNC
3D printer burr.
Yeah.
3D printers, CNC machines are your friends, and they can't outlaw those, because otherwise they're going to be out of a lot of commerce if they do that. So,
yep.
And like I said, completely unrelated note.
Shout out to Sal.
It's like, I drop that hint to my European libertarian friends every now and again. That's all.
European friends, follow Sal Mayweather and he can hook you up too.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, that's where Sal's at? I didn't know that.
He's in Florida, if I remember correctly.
Well, he's in Florida, but
okay.
Yeah,
he's the original Florida man.
But hookups, Sally. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, hell yeah.
Right.
Good stuff though, guys. I mean, let's go ahead and wrap it up right here, because
almost 3 hours.
It's getting late, and it's been 3 hours, so I don't want to take up all your night. And we can do this again though, so we'll definitely have to do this again.
We're gonna have to get Infinite Trail on this time.
Yeah, next time we'll get Infinite. We'll get Tim back. We'll have a party next time.
It's always
with some zeal.
And I'll be back to it extremely soon. I'm ready.
Right on. So, plug out. You can follow. Well, I'll drop Tim's in the notes. So he's not here to give his own plug. But if you guys want to plug out to your info, if you'd like, I know everybody should know who you are who listens. If not,
At Buds in Reality on Twitter. Buds with the letter N, like Guns N' Roses. If you know Buds, I don't know what to tell you. But
Great for your band.
I have a pod. I've been on hiatus. I will be back very soon. I look forward to it. And you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Buds in Reality. Same thing. But nobody follows me on Meta because I'm shadow banned.
Wow.
Ooh, that's surprising.
I'll look you up.
And I'm a Two Free Mike, known as Mike Decentralized on X, and that is the only place you'll find me anyway. I just rant and rave on X. That's pretty much all that I do, and hang out with these guys every now and again. So that's about it.
Sounds good. And then we know you're in the description.
Okay.
We have a link.
Give us your shit, man.
Yeah, but if you want to drop it, man, you can drop the Telegram.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Hit me up with telegram.me/otaku sauce. There you go. I have a little meme page going.
Nice.
Otaku is geek, everybody.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
Japanese.
learned that.
Very cool.
So yeah, join. You guys are welcome too if you have Telegram, but anybody's welcome. So just find Otaku Sauce on the Telegram. So,
Dr. Sauce.
But Lysander Spooner behind me and on Sean's shirt. This is the legacy, right? Thank you guys for a
He's there, but
fantastic.
it's all faded out. I'm wearing it too.
There's a faded one right there.
Yeah.
Thank you guys again for jumping on and doing this with us. This was a lot of fun. We were supposed to do this like a month to be able to do it. So, but I am the legacy of Jennifer and Kaiser, Zachary Kaiser, Andrew Joseph, Buds in Reality, Mike Decentralized.
Bitcoin, baby.
Hey, yeah, this is Bitcoin. I'm back. The king of the rap shit. I'm back in this Bitcoin, baby. I'm back in this bitch. Flossing fast cars and rolling with my clique. The king of the rap shit, the real OG. Whack ass rappers got nothing on me. Bought another Lambo, 3 hoes inside it, 10 hoes in line, ready to ride it. It's Bitcoin, bitch. Keep the track bumping. Really on the plug. I got pies in the oven. 80 years old, and your baby mama fond of me. All she wanna do is smoke my broccoli. Private jets from Rome to Ibiza. Lisa, Jenny, Julie, and Maria. Every day I gotta give thanks. I got bitcoins in the bank. Bitcoin, baby. I'm back in this bitch.
Bitcoin, baby. Oh,
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Bitcoin, baby.
The king of the rap shit. I'm back in this bitch. Axe your grandmother. Verse 2, coming with the gin and the juice. Call me a drag, spit flame in the boot. I'm hot, like a thermos full of coffee. So hot, can't get the hose off me. It's true, I got the weed card and shit. I'm smoking like a motherfucking chimney, kid. Bitches love me, my shit's never whack. Tell these motherfuckers, Bitcoin's back.
Bitcoin, baby.
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Hot like hot coffee. Oh,
Axe your grandmother.
Surprise, motherfucker.
The king of the rap shit. I'm back in this bitch.
Get your hands in the air. Put your hands